Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Happiest of Fridays to you all. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Todd as we journey around your fandoms one video at a time. This has been an interesting week. I'm glad it's over with. I'm glad we can kick off the weekend together. Awesome. That's why I love doing this on Fridays, especially after work. Like a freeing feeling. Get set up here and then it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's the best way to start the weekend. I'm glad you're here with me, and I hope you enjoy. Got 5 amazing member-requested videos off of toddreacts.com. If you'd like to request your own videos and literally guide the stream, you certainly can do so. The season tier gets you 2 requests per month, and the series tier gets you 3 requests per month. Go ahead and check that out. And while you do, check out the winter collection of merch. It's leaving in just over 29 days. The summer collection's right around the corner. I've been working hard on that past couple weeks. Got some samples en route to myself. Should be able to check everything out, make sure it's all good to go, and good to go live, which is awesome. Looking forward to it. I think you're going to enjoy it. I do have some ideas planned for the launch that I'll let you know closer to the date. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post about it in the Discord. I'll leave a community post on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be fun. Who knows? Who knows what might happen? Go ahead and check out the accessories as well. Those don't disappear with the changing of the collections. It just gets added to. So you're going to see some new items on there I've been working on. But as far as what's on there right now, you got the rocks glass. Got a energy drink in front of me. Keep my brain moving as it was a long day of work. I'm not going to lie. It was a long day of work, a long week of work. Staring at a screen, looking at a lot of numbers. Like, oh gosh. Numbers get to you after a while, but we survive. We hang on, right? And of course, because it is Friday, we do partake in a little bit of an adult beverage. It is icy cold. Good grief. I pulled it out of the freezer because I'm like, you know what? I want it a little bit colder. So got the pint glass filled up. Not quite to a pint. This is only 12 ounces. It does the trick. So check out the pint glass. It's phenomenal. You do have to hand wash it. It is nice and it's got that pint glass feel. It's thick glass. You know what I mean? It's got that weight to it. Not just because of the beverage in there, but because of how it's printed on the glass, you can't machine wash it. But it's super easy to clean via the hand. And go ahead and check that out. And of course, as always, I have my ice cold water in the mint green insulated tumbler. Check those out and more. I'll just scroll through real quick. There you go. Boom. It's a quick look. Scroll too fast. What's up, Remnant? Welcome in. Happy Friday to you. And of course, if you're not already there, but if you're already there, go ahead and hit the subscribe button on the Todd Reacts YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Over 13,800 of you have already hit that subscribe button, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Frankly, I remember the first one. I remember the first 100. I remember first time hitting 1,000. Like, those were big numbers. 10,000, of course. So I'm looking forward to hitting more milestones with you. And thanks for joining along the journey. I appreciate it. And if you haven't checked it out, you're just watching via Twitch, go ahead and check out the YouTube channel. That's where all the VODs get uploaded because Twitch has a weird way of doing VODs. Like, they disappear after like 2 weeks. Very strange. But yeah, go check out the channel. There's over a year of streaming VODs up on at this point. I think it's like 130 something VODs at this point on the YouTube channel. Crazy. And then before that, I did over 1,000 just standalone videos. I thought that was a pretty good option, just doing the standalone videos. But I realized I was doing so much editing, unnecessary editing per week. Like, it was just adding up crazy. I was doing about 14 videos a week, recording them, and then editing each one, then uploading each one. I was like, I'm wasting so much time. there's a more efficient way to do this, and I'm just not doing it. So that's why we switched, and I hope you enjoy it. We do have the timestamps available for every single longer video, and I guess they're called chapters at this point on YouTube, but those are set up as well for every single video, so you can, if you see it in the title, like Grey's Anatomy, you can literally find the chapter for Grey's Anatomy if you want to do it that way. If you want to watch the full thing, hey, I am all for it. Hang out with me. I do say some stuff in the beginning. I do say some stuff in the end. But you're more than welcome to jump around if you want. It is your life. I'm just a little part of it, but I'm happy to be a little part of it. Alrighty. And last but certainly not least, I almost forgot it. Oh, jeez. Almost forgot it. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I almost forgot it. The Discord, of course. The lovely Discord. As you can see at the top, it does say that I'm live, and I am live. So it gives you a nice little, mention, notification that I am live. So if you want to check out live and be a part of the chat and the conversation, you can certainly do so. And of course, if you come up with a channel that it's something you're passionate about or want to talk about and you don't see it listed, you could certainly request it via the Request a Channel channel, and we will hook you up with a channel of your own. Then you can, see what other people are into. Very cool. And I do update the schedule for this through the Discord the most. So if you're looking for most up-to-date information based on the timing, maybe there's a delay, maybe there's missing a day, maybe there's doing it on a different day of the week, it's all via the Discord. And we have some fun community posts as well. You could just kind of work your way through them, of course. Friends have been made on the Discord. Enemies? No, I'm just kidding. No enemies have been made. Everybody's been very nice. As you can see, it's basically the YouTube comments, but in Discord. Everyone's been super positive, super nice. If there is a disagreement with, a fandom of something, it's usually pretty mild. So go ahead and join on those conversations. I promise we don't bite. But yeah, lots of fun. It's totally free, by the way. Links everywhere. It's on the website, below every video on the YouTube channel, in the video description. It's everywhere. So if you can't find the link, I don't know what to say. I really don't. First, find yourself, then find the link to the Discord. That seems like a good order there. All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, like I said, been working hard on the summer collection of merch. Looking forward to it. Gonna do some fun thing involving that coming later. I don't want to give too much of it away. Eventually, I will obviously give it away because I have to advertise it. But I'll wait until I'm a little closer. But just little teases here and there. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. But looking forward to it, of course. And I have nothing to say. This week has been meh. I don't know if you've had those weeks or if every week is like that, but this week has been literally nothing. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's been raining all week. It's like, ugh. Just kind of one of those weeks. I was trying to come up with something to say to you all and, fill this little time that I have to say something important, maybe. And I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I've been watching 90 Day Fiancé. It's been amazing. Lots of drama, lots of awkward pauses. If you're into cringe, it's pretty high cringe. But yeah, that's about it, honestly. But we do have 5 amazing member requested videos for you today. We're going to start off with One Piece, and then we're going to move to a Smallville video. And then we do have a Smosh Animation video, which, if you watched the last stream, was freaking hilarious. So I'm assuming this one's going to be incredibly funny. Incredibly funny. So I'm looking forward to that for sure, just based off the previous one. Then we have a One Tree Hill edit with Brooke and Nathan. Shout out to Brooke and Nathan. And then we end the stream and kick off the weekend with a SummerNight video with WhiteIvy. I've never heard of the SummerNight series. I don't know what it's about, so that should be very interesting. I figured we could end on that because I literally have no idea what it's about. It's kind of one of those interesting pieces where you're just like, okay, so I've reacted to One Piece, I've reacted to Smallville, I've reacted to Smosh, I've reacted to One Tree Hill. I don't know what the heck SummerNight's about. So let's end on that and figure out what that's about. It could be the greatest thing we've ever seen. It could be the worst thing we've ever seen, but we're not going to know until we get there. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick off the stream with a One Piece. It is a music video. It's called The Pirate King. And obviously it's about Monkey D. Luffy. Amazing. I remembered to say Luffy. It's been a while. It has been a while. But let's go ahead and get that pulled up, shall we? I think, let me double check to see, because I don't pre-watch these. I literally have no idea. Okay, we are going to need to change the size of the video. Otherwise, we will not see the subtitles. There we go. Perfect. We'll just there we go. Unmute. That'd be wise. Dreams of its people. Just read it.
Monkey D. Luffy 海賊が名前を捨てるときは死ぬときだけで十分だ。俺の名前を一生覚えてろ。海賊王になる。
You know what's really fascinating is thinking about going off and doing something and having word about you and reputation just go through the world, and it gradually meets that person who's like, oh, yeah, bring this back to me when you become the king of the pirates, okay? And then meanwhile, as you're going off and doing these adventures, they start piling up, and then the word about you spreads and spreads and spreads and finally hits that person, and they're just like, excuse me?
俺が決めたんだから、そのために戦って死ぬなら別にいい。
あいつらの言う新時代ってのはクソだ。海賊が夢を見る時代が終わるって？おい、人の夢は終わらねえ。
レイリーさん、俺は本当に驚いたよ。イーストブルーにロジャー船長と同じことを言うガキがいたんだ。船長のあの言葉を新しい時代にかけてきた。
海賊王になる男だ。終わり。俺死んだ。
終わった。D はまた必ず嵐を呼ぶ。
Whoa, 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 pause. Pause.
いいね。ゴールドロジャー。やっぱ海賊はこうでなくちゃ。
What a subtitle that was.
この海で一番自由なやつが海賊王だ。海賊王になるのは俺だ。
これより麦わらのルフィを全力で援護しろ。
You have a cannonball hole in his chest? The heck
その
was
場にい
that?
る者たちを次々に自分の味方につけ、最も恐るべき力を持っている。
心残りが一つある。お前の夢の果て見られねえことだ。だけどお前なら必ずやれる。俺の弟だ。
ロジャーが待ってる男は少なくともティーチおめえじゃねえ。いつの日かその数百年分の歴史を全て背負ってこの世界に戦いを挑む者が現れる。おめえたち世界政府はいつか来
That was
る。
intense.
その世界中を巻き込むほどの巨大な戦いを恐れている。
Made me
あ
feel
の宝
extremely
を
uncomfortable.
誰かが見
It's
つけ
just
た
like, I
時
don't know what's happening.
世界はひっくり返るのさ。誰かが見つけ出す。その日は必ず来る。ワンピースは実在する。
いいかルフィ、勝利も敗北も知り逃げ回って涙を流して男は一人前になる。泣いたっていいんだ。乗り越えろ。
俺は海賊王になる。
この世には偶然などないのかもしれない。全てが必然であるかのように。
誰かが生まれる。そして俺たちを超えていく。
とかくルフィはまた一段とあの帽子がよく似合う男になった。
何の冗談だ。エターナルポースに記録したのか。こんなもんに耐えるやつに手に入れられる宝じゃねえ。
俺はこれいらね
麦わらの一味はこれまであらゆる奇跡を起こしてきた奴らだ。お前には麦わら屋を倒せねえ。俺は思う。ルフィたちこそが数百年間我ら一族と光月家が待ち続けた世界を夜明けへと導く者たちだ。
麦わらのルフィ死亡説、バカバカしい。世界に伝えてくれたぜ。彼はいずれ世界の海の王となる男。
麦わらの一味がてめえらの傘下につくのも願い下げだ。うちの船長は誰かの下につくような男じゃねえ。ルフィは海賊王になる男だ。
え。あいつはいずれ海賊王になる男だ。きっとなるから。そいつだけは笑わせねえ。いつかこの海の王になる男なんだ。ルフィは
That kind of self-confidence, what it's all about. That is what
ル
it's
フ
all
ィは
about.
海賊王になる男だ。麦わらのルフィはいずれ世界を変える男なんじゃ。
Determination,
ま
all
だ
that
若い
goodness.
がこの海の王になるのは現四皇
Pretty
の
clear
誰
there's
で
a
もな
lot
い
of great
麦わらのルフィじゃと
messages in
わ
One
しを
Piece.
思うとる。
俺は海賊王になる男だ。
随分未来を見てやがる。
Of course, there's also like backing it up, right?
もうすぐ会えそうだな。
The talent was there, the determination was there. He was eventually going to do it. It wasn't completely delusional, you know. It wasn't just somebody randomly saying, "I'm going to be king of the pirates." That'd be like me saying, "I'm going to be king of the pirates someday." You're like, "What?" At least there was some precedent for it. But gosh, I feel like that line from Moneyball, Brad Pitt delivers as Billy Bean, I think his name was, where he said, "How can you not be romantic about baseball?" But I think I would amend it just a little bit and say, "How can you not be romantic about pirates?" There's something quite beautiful about it, and intriguing. It's the ultimate freedom. It's taking your life into your own hands. It's being with the boys kind of thing. Like there's a camaraderie. It's you and your fellow pirates on one ship, together against all odds. Other people, other tribes, other, groups. Trying not to die of scurvy. All the classics. But there's something quite beautiful about it. You're taking on literally other people. You're taking on Mother Nature, waves, storms, whatever. Your own physical health. Like it is very much a cutthroat you make it out if you're, the strongest around, basically. It is extremely survival of the fittest in a true sense of that word. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. I've always enjoyed pirate stuff, whether it's Black Sails, whether it's Master and Commander kind of stuff, whether it's Pirates of the Caribbean, of course. Everybody loves that thing. It's something beautiful about it. Such a good story and character. That's the big thing. If it wasn't a good story or a good character, main character specifically, people wouldn't talk about it, right? But it is. Having both of those combined, I mean, boom, perfect. It's going to turn into one of the highest selling stories of all time, basically. Beautiful. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love. Let me go throw that a like. That one had 1.7 million views. And I will throw the link, of course, down below in the Twitch chat. Hopefully I'm signed in on this. Sometimes I am, sometimes I isn't. Sometimes I am, sometimes I isn't. Come on, brain function, giddy up. Sometimes I'm not. There we go. There's the link for those watching live. Go ahead and pull up some information on a monkey. Boom. But yeah, like I was saying, pirate stuff is just so cool, just on the surface. You add the other stuff to it, good story, good characters, whatever, like it just adds to it. But just the backbone of having a pirate story is right up my alley. Back to Luffy's cry, that was the first time we've seen Luffy just completely destroyed. Yeah, because it seems like he was extremely positive and self-confident, at least from most of what I've seen. So to see him completely break down that'd be a big moment for sure. Monkey, commonly known as Straw Hat Luffy, or simply Straw Hat, is the founder and captain of increasingly infamous and powerful Straw Hat Pirates. Pursues the legendary treasure, the late Gol D. Roger, in order to become the new Pirate King and reach a further untold dream currently known to only his crew, family, and closest friends. He believes that being the Pirate King means having the most freedom in the world. How can you not love that story? That's so cool. That is really cool. Obviously, we've gone over this before. I'll just try to hit some main points if you haven't seen it before. You want to check those reactions back, all you have to do is go to the channel and look up a playlist for obviously One Piece. I've done quite a few videos of One Piece at this point. He draws the greatest inspiration from the pirate red-haired Shanks. So it's Skanks, who unwittingly enabled him to eat the devil fruit that turned his body into rubber, sacrificed an arm to save his life, and gifted his signature straw hat as a symbol of their vow to reunite someday after Luffy became a great pirate. There you go. There was that moment that we saw, the giving of the hat. It's not like he needed the motivation, but that was definitely seemed like it added fuel to the fire for sure. Because at that point, you're not only proving it to yourself, you're proving it to somebody else. A lot of people say, do it for you, not other people. Yeah, okay. That works if you have just an incredible amount of willpower and self-worth, self-confidence, etc. But frankly, doing it for the views of other people or the respect of other people or whatever might be a pretty good motivator to some people. So I don't fully buy into do it for yourself, not for other people. I think it's totally fine to do it for both. Or at least do it for other people until you find yourself to do it for yourself. Currently recognized as a central member of the worst generation. Oof. Now, which generation is the worst generation? Let's start some fights in those comments, shall we? The unwilling leader of the 7-crew Straw Hat Grand Fleet, and in wake of defeating Kaido during the raid on... Oh boy. I'm not even going to attempt that. One of the 4 emperors with a bounty of... Oh my gosh. Dang. 3 billion something. Since the Awakening, I forget the name of the currency. Main protagonist in One Piece manga and anime series. What's the significance of the hat? More than just a fashion statement, it's a symbol of his childhood and his dreams. The hat was given to him by his idol. Of course, we talked about red-haired Shanks, who received it from Goldie Roger. Luffy promised to return the hat once he became a great pirate. This hat is the reason for the nickname, of course, Straw Hat Luffy. It's also the namesake of the crew. What is the legendary treasure? Also known as the Pirate King, is known as One Piece. This treasure is said to be the greatest in the world, and its location was revealed by Roger just before his death. Revelation sparked the Grand Age of Pirates. That's cool. I like that. The Golden Age of Pirates, if you will. With many dreaming of finding One Piece and becoming the next Pirate King. Kind of reminds me of the Gold Rush in the U.S. during, what, the 1800s? Everyone moved west to sifted dirt for gold. Just trying to become, rich. What is Monkey D. Luffy's dream? For a long time, his dream was understood to be that he wanted to become the Pirate King so he could become the person with the most freedom in the world. He aims to find the One Piece, a legendary treasure, of course. Additionally, it was revealed that Luffy has another dream known only to a select few people. This dream has not been revealed to the reader yet. Oh, got a little mystery left. After joining a war to save his big brother from execution, even after Luffy freed him, Ace sacrificed himself to save Luffy. Wow. Dang, that's huge. That's huge. At a certain point, you'd be like, I saved you from execution. What the heck? But also the fact that it was, honestly, what's interesting about that is ultimately doing a good thing rewarded himself with his life, basically. That's what that sounds like. That's good karma is what that is. Patiently waiting for it to be revealed. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad there's still a little bit of, a little bit of plot left. It could be anything. Who knows? What makes Luffy the strongest combatant? Fearless attitude, which was on full display in that edit. Mastery of all 3 forms of, haki, and his devil fruit power turns him into rubber, I suppose, right? His strength is recognized by many, including his opponents, despite his age and appearance, often leading to underestimation. That's always good to have. That's like a key part of Batman. Is people are just terrified of him. They're not underestimating him. They might be overestimating him, but they're literally shaking in their boots when everyone's like, "Oh, I spot him." They're just immediately like, You've definitely noticed that if you played any of the Arkham series video games. Fear is a huge part of those. Very, very cool. One Piece, all of Luffy's forms ranked by strength. Okay, little subjective article. I like it. We'll get some comments on your thoughts, how this worked. Luffy is making full use of Gear 5 in the Egghead arc, showcasing exactly what is meant to be the embodiment of the sun god Nika. However, Luffy states that Gear 5 is his peak while fighting Kaido during the Wano Country saga, I think, leaving fans to wonder if that's going to be the final transformation. As such, we have updated the list with some more relevant information. Okay, cool. Number 10. I like the fact that some of these articles are kept up. Like they actually take time to update them. Very neat. They have just these dead articles that are filling the internet. Number 10, Water Luffy was the perfect counter to Crocodile's sandy powers. There are no notable techniques associated with Water Luffy. Water Luffy never appears after the Arabasta arc. During Luffy's showdown with Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Luffy realizes that the only way to counter his opponent's sand fruit is to drench himself with water. This revelation leads to the debut of the self-titled Water Luffy, an amusing form in which the hero fills his rubber body to the brim with water. That's funny. While hilarious and ineffective in any other fight, the Water Luffy form is an example of his impressive battle ingenuity. So funny. For some reason, I'm just picturing him blowing up like a balloon, basically, a water balloon, if you will. Unfortunately, even Water Luffy couldn't defeat Crocodile, ultimately forcing the Straw Hat Pirates to develop another plan to defeat his opponent. Since Water Luffy is merely an improvised, specialized form that only means something while fighting Sir Crocodile, it ranks low among his many forms. Still, some One Piece fans might miss the days when simple, funny Luffy forms like that were all the heroes needed to fight, rather than get swept up in non-stop power scaling with things like Haki, Gear 5, Devil Fruit Awakenings, etc. At that point, they had already lost their other brother when they were kids, so he also thought this was the first time he was truly alone. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, that'll tug at the heartstrings. Number 9, Nightmare Luffy shows the true power of undeath. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Yep, that's a terrifying one. Yeah, that's nightmare fuel right there. Owes his strength to the shadows separated by Gecko Moria. Also appears in the video game One Piece Unlimited Cruise 2008. During the Thriller Bark arc, Luffy and Straw Hats came across Gecko Moria and his minions, some of the toughest opponents they had faced until that point. To improve his chances of victory, Luffy is fed a considerable amount of shadows by the helpless zombies wandering around the floating island. Thanks to his powerful spirit, Luffy is able to withstand far more shadows than most people, ultimately resulting in the Straw Hat Pirates' unique Nightmare Luffy form. With a distinct appearance inspired by classic horror tropes, very much like Frankenstein's monster, I guess you could say. Or Mr. Hyde from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I always almost confuse those. I have to remind myself, Dr. Jekyll. With a distinct appearance inspired by classic tropes. Let's see. With this transformation is likely weaker than Luffy's base form following the time skip. It's a fun part of an often underrated arc. Example of the Shadow Fruit's true potential, even if Gecko ranked low among the warlords. Number 8, Base Luffy, or Based Luffy, is all about shonen style, courage, and determination. Episode 1, I am Luffy, the man who will become the Pirate King. Just sheer determination, courage, self-confidence, everything. There you go. What more do you need? Well, that looks more like relaxation. That's Luffy on vacation right there. Even before, what is happening here? Oh. What was that? Even before unlocking any of his gear transformations, Luffy's base form was a force to be reckoned with. His stretchy and malleable limbs, perfect for straightforward defense and unorthodox attacks, also providing him natural immunity to attacks like bullets and lightning. That said, Luffy is relatively weak against slicing attacks in every form, but more so in his base version. Following the time skip, base form is even stronger. Mastery of Haki makes him a threat regardless of the circumstances, thanks to his significant combat experience. He's a battle-proven as any pirate in the Grand Line. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what just showing up will do, right? What do they say? 90% of success is just showing up. What? Probably 5% is the confidence to do it. The other 5%, some talent or luck. Who knows? Gear 2, number 7. Turn the tables when fighting Blueno? Blueno? Gear 2 is the first of many gear transformations that Luffy debuts. After being easily defeated by Aokiji, man, I am struggling with these names. At the end of the Long Ring Long Land arc, Luffy realizes that he needs to grow stronger, so in preparation for future battles, he trains to develop a new form. Luffy's training was done mostly off-screen, an example of how One Piece makes rather limited use of training arcs. Luffy would rather let the results speak for themselves than undergo too many training montages. You don't want to do too many of them. You know, even Rocky only had like 1 or 2, right? By using his devil fruit powers to pump blood throughout the body, Straw Hat Pirate is able to move much faster than normal, effectively creating an extreme version of doping. The ultimate Lance Armstrong. Thankfully, Jinbei reminded Luffy while he was going on a mini rampage after waking up from his injuries that he still had his friends. That's great. That's lovely. That's a lovely thought. That is true. What was that line? I just recalled it, which is such a wild... I can't believe I'm quoting this movie with regards to One Piece, but It's a Wonderful Life. Wasn't the end quote like, no man is truly alone as long as they have friends or something like that, or as long as they're around friends? Like the main line of the movie. I can't. That's funny. That's funny. It's a Wonderful Life. One Piece. It's like that. Using his devil fruit powers, pump blood. Yep. Blood doping, of course. Form is so intense that all his sweat starts evaporating from his body as if it was steaming. But as time goes by, Luffy slowly learns how to achieve this state with little effort. Nice. Thus, Gear 2 was born, performing how Luffy fights with his flexible body. Number 6, Gear 3 gave Luffy the massive fists he needed to fight Rob Lucci. Oh. Well, there you go. He's literally blowing up his fist. Now that is a funny face. That is a funny face right there. Oh my gosh. That is destruction at its best. Is that a fish? Got knocked out? What is that? Fight being developed around the same time as Gear 2, Gear 3 doesn't have much to do with speed, instead focuses on power, biting into his thumb. Oh, I thought he was blowing into his thumb. Biting into his thumb and inflating his bones like a balloon. Oh. So I guess, yeah, he is blowing into his thumb. That's wild. Can turn his body parts into that of a giant, allowing him to deliver tremendously powerful blows. Initially, however, his body would shrink hilariously after a few minutes. Like a balloon deflating. Gear 3 is first used against Rob Lucci during the climax of the Enos Lobby arc, severely weakening the member of CP9 after a single strike. After the time skip, can use this technique without any drawbacks, no longer sacrificing much of his speed or shrinking after the transformation wears off. I mean, that's handy. Number 5, Gear 2 and 3 together gave Luffy a fighting chance against Gecko Moria. At some point during the Straw Hat Pirates' journey through the first half of the Grand Line, Luffy learns how to use both of them simultaneously. Although this form isn't given a specific name, the transformation is first seen during Luffy's fight with Gecko Moria. Fans might even call it an unofficial Gear 4, or perhaps 3.5. It was soon made obsolete when Luffy started using Haki in his actual Gear 4, but for the Thriller Bark arc, it was sufficient. That's really cool. Using both of them. Super fast and super powerful. I mean, that's just beautiful. That's like mixing the Flash with the Hulk. That would be legit awesome. Number 4, ironically, Gear 4. Tankman is Luffy's huge form that can eat anything. That is crazy. Look at that. Oh my gosh. You know what that reminds me of? Is Kirby when he just starts eating everything. That's something. That's something. There's always something. Remember you've probably seen this meme of the big stuffed bear, like the tiny little head. Whenever it's a huge round body with a tiny little head on top, it's just hilarious to me. Just instantly funny. All of Luffy's Gear 4 forms operate on a principle similar to 2 and 3, with the only difference being that these transformations are significantly more extreme. Although not the first Gear 4 form to be introduced in One Piece, the infamous Tankman inflates Luffy's body to cartoonish levels, yes. Original form isn't seen, however, Luffy employs the Manpuku version. Immediately demonstrates impressive defensive capabilities. Yeah, I can surmise why. Using this transformation is able to deflect the strongest attacks. Limited mobility, yeah, that's not surprising. The form is only useful in specific situations. Yeah, if Luffy needs to buy time on defense, that makes 100% sense. What's up, Megan? Welcome in. Hope you're having a great Friday, or, well, at this point, Saturday. Year 4. Snakeman is a lean, mean striking machine. What have we reacted to so far? We just did a One Piece video. Then we have a Smallville video, and then after that, Smosh Animated, One Tree Hill, and then SummerNight. Number 3, Gear 4, Snakeman is a lean, mean striking machine. One of the most powerful forms, proves to be crucial in his fight against Charlotte Katakuri of the Big Mom Pirates. Okay. That's a formidable group, it sounds like. Gear 4 forms Luffy uses on his limbs to keep his body as lean as possible, boosting his speed, utmost limits. Normally favors flexibility, endurance, resourceful thinking over sheer speed, but he's not against the idea of moving quickly to outmaneuver his foes. Hey, speed is speed. It's amazing what speed can overcome. Snake Man is an offensive-only form designed to either win or die trying. Well, I guess we could call that the 50 Cent. Get rich or die trying. Gear 4, Boundman is Luffy's toughest, most mobile form. Wow, that is cartoonishly big. Go-to form in Gear 4 seems to be the best of them all in terms of raw strength. Makes use of the muscle balloon technique. Yeah, I would say so. Adds extremely dense armament haki to the mix, resulting in armored version of Straw Hat Captain. Nice. It's not as fast as Snake Man. Boundman makes up for it by offering higher durability, of course. Gear 5, number 1. Gear 5 is a game changer that toppled Kaido at Onigashima, I think. Interesting. Looking like Siegfried and Roy. That might be a deep cut. Also, thankfully, the brother they thought had died as a child had actually been saved and raised by Luffy's dad. But the brother didn't know because he had lost his... Oh my gosh. Who sadly regained his memories and found Luffy again after seeing Ace's death in the newspaper. That must have been a beautiful reunion. Culmination of the Wano Country arc saw Luffy finally awaken his devil fruit, human fruit model, Nika, By unleashing the full potential of his powers with his incredible transformation, Straw Hat Pirate is able to transform into the mythical sun god, Apollo. Turning his hair, skin, and clothes white and adding a red glow to his eyes. Dubbed Gear 5, this transformation is easily the strongest of all the forms. Power is only limited by the imagination. Dang. Gear 5 is currently the greatest and most amazing technique. However, it still strains Luffy's body a great deal because he becomes an exhausted old man once it's used up. It's worth it, though, to fight some, opponents and whatnot. Fortunately, he can restore Gear 5 without too much trouble, especially if he gets a chance to eat meat. More sustainable than the other gears. Okay. So when he gets to Gear 6, Gear 5 will have no ill effect, probably. I'm assuming that's accurate. Oh my gosh. A wild, wild story. One Piece 7 most clever strategies used by Luffy ranked. Using the mirror against Foxy, a simple yet effective counter to the slow beam. When Foxy shoots his slow beam, for the final blow, Luffy uses a piece of mirror that he found earlier in the fight and reflects the beam back to its shooter. Even Foxy, the user of the power, is not immune to the slow beam. Oh, geez. After that, all Luffy needs to do is land a fully powered punch on Foxy's face. Since he's moving in slow motion, the knockback effect takes way longer than usual, which makes the punch feel even more painful than it is. There you go. Number 6, using water against Crocodile and blowing himself up like a water balloon. Luffy realizes that Crocodile's sand will clump when it comes in contact with liquid, just like normal sand, so he makes sure to bring a barrel of water in his final confrontation. Negates the power. Go. Number 5, using wax gloves to protect himself from Magellan. Oh, keeps him safe from poison. All Magellan has to do is cover his body with poison, and anyone who touches his body will experience a world of hurt. Unfortunately for Luffy, he has no choice but to fight him. Save his brother Ace. Gloves and boots covered in candles, wax, protect Luffy's hands and feet from the poisons and allow him to land critical blows. Nice. Number 4, using ricochet attacks against Enel. Electricity may not work on Luffy's rubber body. That's handy. While this tactic allows Luffy to evade Enel's attacks, he still can't land any meaningful attack on the self-proclaimed god. That's when Luffy comes up with the idea of throwing torrents of punches onto the nearby golden wall. His punches ricocheted from the wall and end up hitting everything around him. Interesting. Since Luffy doesn't even know where the punches will land himself, Enel can't use the mantra to predict the rubber man's attack. Go. Number 3, stalling for time against Katakuri. Retreat and recharge. Hey, nothing bad about a retreat. Sometimes you got to do it, You got to know when to fold them. Got to know when to walk away. Got to know when to run. Kenny Rogers said, when Luffy is stuck fighting Katakuri in the mirror world, their battle lasts about 10 hours. Oh my gosh. Oh my, get a breather in there, Luffy knows once that Gear 4 reaches its limit, he won't be able to use Haki for 10 minutes, and there's no way he could survive fighting without it. That's why once he sees a window of opportunity, he immediately retreats from the battlefield. To ensure he won't be able to follow him, Luffy grabs Broly, the creator of the mirror world, and Katakuri's little sister, and jumps into a nearby mirror and onto the real world, leaving Katakuri behind. He uses his time to rest, recuperate, while thinking of ways to counter. That's a beautiful strategy right there. Beautiful. Number 2, separating Katakuri from the Straw Hat crew. During Big Mom's hunger pangs, fighting Big Mama. She chases Luffy, Nami, Sanji, Jimby, and Pedro and Carrot, thinking that is a interesting group of names. Thinking they have stolen her delicious wedding cake. Ooh. God, it always leads back to cake. What is this? What is this? Between the BLs and their cakes at the events, and then I'm reading about cake and something seemingly totally unrelated. Luffy and the gang try to reach their ship, the Thousand Sunny, so that they can get away from the rampaging Big Mom. That is so rude. What if it's just Mom, you know? Unfortunately, Charlotte Katakuri has already seized the Straw Hat's ship. He infiltrated the Sunny through his sister's mirror world and successfully captured Brook and Chopper. Brief contact is all that's needed to know that Katakuri won't be an easy defeat. Without wasting more time, Luffy restrains Katakuri, tells his crew to go on without him, then forces Katakuri to dive into the mirror world with him. Thanks to Luffy's quick thinking, the rest of the crew is able to use Ude Burst to escape from Big Mom. Big Mama. Sad fact, Luffy still has nightmares of the moment he lost Ace to this day. Ooh. That is brutal. Number 1, different versions of Gear 4. Great strategies come from proper preparation. Yes, that is the mantra of the Boy Scouts, I believe. Boy Scouts of America. Always be prepared, or always prepare, or whatever it is. I don't know. I wasn't a Boy Scout. That's why the most clever strategy that Luffy has come up with thus far is to create an adjustable battle technique in the form of Gear 4. Base model of Gum Gum attacks is not strong enough. Gear 3 gives him strength, but lacks speed. Gear 4 is a perfect combination of 2 and 3. What makes Gear 4 even better is the fact that it still has 3 different modes. The base one is called the Bound Man, offers biggest boost in strength. Second is Tank Man for defense, that big guy, right, with the tiny little head. The last one is Snake Man, which boasts enough speed to knock down Katakuri, the man who can use Haki to peek into the future. Luffy may appear to be a musclehead who never thinks before he acts, but it takes a lot of insight to create such an adaptive technique like Gear 4 to ensure he can deal with all sorts of enemies. I like the fact that, number 1, forever improving, right? Always thinking of new ways, super clever, almost like the MacGruber or the MacGyver, if you will, of situations, just constantly thinking and reevaluating. And, you know, the greatest generals have always been able to change course, whether it's going across the Delaware in the middle of a foggy night that the British won't think of or won't see them. That was a genius move by Washington. That's just one example in history. I'm sure there's many others that are not coming to mind right now, but the greatest ones are always able to think on the fly and come up with new strategies. And, you see it in sports all the time. Whenever it's halftime, the coaches are in there like thinking of, all right, so this didn't work. Maybe we can do this. All right, that defense definitely didn't work. Let's change it up. Do this. Maybe we'll stop them, etc. Like they're always thinking of, all right, that didn't work. That didn't work. Get rid of it. A lot of it comes with not having a huge ego in the fact that, if something's not working, you have to be able to get rid of it, right? Or go a different direction. If you have too big of an ego, there's like, no, this is what we do. It works. I planned this. It'll work. We'll just stick with it. Instead of looking at the situation and going, this isn't working. Like, clearly something's wrong here. Like, either I got it wrong or whatever. But the good ones are always able to adjust. Big Mom, honestly, one of the most intimidating characters in OP. Big Mama. Big Mama's House. Great movie. Very funny. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's go ahead. That was lovely. That was a wonderful edit. Really enjoyed it. It's interesting reading about the different gears. I like the fact that, not only is the character ever evolving, which is awesome. You learn about new techniques. You get to see new things. The character isn't stationary. Like, it can get a little repetitive or boring if they just kind of stay the same the entire time, or like there's no improvement. Like they're just 10 out of 10, strong, fast, whatever. They beat everything. no opponent stands a chance. Maybe there's a little bit of adversity, but it's not much compared to this is a threat. Like I gotta change. I gotta come up with something clever. I gotta come up with a new evolution, if you will, new gear. That makes it forever interesting because you don't know what's next. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what shape or form Luffy's gonna take. Like, that is wonderful. That is truly, truly wonderful. And kudos. Obviously, it's worked for a very long time, and people are super interested. Even in the live action, they nailed it. I mean, that's surprising, because usually those don't go too well. Recent history proved that one out. Go ahead and move on to the next one. It is Smallville, which we did react to last stream. Looking forward to this. It is another Lois and Clark. Me personally, I enjoyed Lana a little bit more than Lois, but maybe that's just me and, my high school brain. It was more of a crush on the actress. I'll be brutally honest with you. I was just, taken, if you will. Taken away. But Lois and Clark, this one is titled Invisible String. String theory, for those of you physicists out there. If manga spoilers weren't rolling around the anime community, Gear 5 definitely would have broke the internet, especially considering the damage it already did. Dang. That's too bad. That's too bad that spoilers are all over the place. But, hey, at least you get to see it, right? Kind of cool. With you on that, yeah. Anna has a special place in my heart. What can I say? All right, let's bring this up and jump in. Invisible String. Obviously, it's a little play there on the destiny, I guess you could call it, of these two, Lois and Clark. Actually, I don't think we need, now that I think about it, I don't think we're going to need that small of a window for this. So let's go ahead and make it bigger. Yeah, look at that. All right, here we go.
Yeah, you and Lois.
What if my soulmate comes along and I'm too blind to see it?
Started off so strong, didn't it? Oh, I love it already. That caught me by surprise. That was a jump scare.
Lois?
You never know when the next love of your life is right around the corner.
I can't say that.
I think that when the right girl walks into your life, you'll know.
Wait. Who's that? Who are you?
Lois, the woman he's destined to be with. Lois Lane.
Journalist. You ever thought about that?
Nah, kill me first. Give me a nerd with glasses any day of the week.
Yes, Miss Lane.
With my luck, I'd probably end up across the desk from the most bumbling reporter on the masthead. You gotta be kidding me. This one's always start that way.
That's a Kent family tradition.
Let's face it, Clark, without me, you'd still be lost.
Just in case I got lost going down the aisle. She was there all along, but he didn't recognize her because the time wasn't right.
Clark doesn't like me. He likes driving me crazy.
Flirtation 101, Lane. And that's what a guy does when he's into a girl.
Drive me crazy.
There are times when I think you don't know me at all. I want you to know me completely with no secrets. And others who I think you know me better than anyone.
It's called being nice.
How's your pot roast?
Well, if you were any nicer, we'd starve. Oh, it's delicious.
Maybe that's why when I pulled that blue dagger out of your chest, you healed.
I feel fate.
You know that's what I'm here for, Smallville.
You saved me.
You are the one he will need.
Save at a time.
He is the one you will need.
I will say they nailed the casting of the show. Real life issues aside for some of the actors, they nailed the casting.
Sometimes even the hero is guardian angel, Clark. That bumbling tadpole is not my Prince Charming.
Who's the Prince Charming?
Or maybe you just need to jump his lily pad and plant one on him.
Clark Kent. Careful. Hello there, Prince Charming. It's bad luck to sneak a peek at the bride before you get to the altar.
See you around, Smallville.
That was kind of funny how she called him Smallville. I do enjoy that.
I'm your future.
This is the present.
You're my best friend. You're my home. I knew I kissed you before. And you were my true love. Clark. And I am yours and will be forever. I just, I can't face another heartbreak down the road. And then I was in this palace of ice. I think I died and went to heaven.
I will say there was one comment on the last stream that mentioned Lois grew on them over time and over the episodes. And I will say that is accurate. That is very true. She grew on me too. I just, you know, I got a soft spot. What can I say?
It's just not every week that a girl learns her boyfriend's
Alien?
And I will not apologize for it.
Okay with that?
I'd be a little freaked out. Are you kidding me? It's like dating a god or Bono.
Not sure Lana's gonna feel the same way.
Maybe she's not the one you were meant to be with.
Oh, come on, Martha. What are
Mom,
you
I can't
doing?
imagine ever loving anyone else.
Thanks, Baba.
Because you're the one. You always will be.
It's like I was going along and it just snuck up on me. And I tried to ignore it, but then there are these moments that you can't. Clark Kent,
Lois Lane,
will you marry me?
will you marry me?
Yes.
Lois. If you're
Imagine
watching
getting
this 20
that
years
look.
from now, just know that you are the love of my life. Do you believe in fate, Lois?
Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
To the happy couple who has finally figured out what we've
Fate.
all known for a
That's
very
the
long
word I was
time
looking
now.
for,
Who
not
knew?
destiny. Well, I
Only
guess
the
they
kind
both
you
were.
make happen.
I did.
You two are destined to be together.
All right. That is true. That is true. And we learned last time that they couldn't show any of the romance between the two until after the Superman movie released, which was weird. Very weird. So they just kind of like kept them bickering with each other for a while. And then they were finally able to make that into a thing. What a weird tidbit of information. Like, no, you guys have to stop your TV show until we release our movie, and then you can continue your TV show. Like, what? That's crazy. Go ahead and throw that a like. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much-deserved love. And also check out their channel. They might have other things that you might find interesting. Throw that link in the live chat for those watching live. Pull up some information on Clark and Lois. Did a little bit last time. Let's go a little bit further, shall we? Developed slowly over the years from bickering friends, dynamic partners, and ultimately romantic lovers. Lois's role in Clark's life is crucial, provides him with an anchor to humanity. Yeah, that's right. Forgot this. I forgot this was part. Yeah, I talked about the Lois and Clark TV show that I used to watch. It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. Obviously, it wasn't a big budget at all. TV back then was not what it is today. You know, now you have streaming services, Netflix, Paramount Plus, Hulu, whatever, that just dump money into TV shows. So they look a lot better. They can do a lot more, honestly. Oh my gosh, this is one of those staged like photos. Like a photographer. That literally looks like that. The Kent family. Zoom out. There we go. 7 years later in 2018. Yeah, Clark mentioned he'd be a few minutes late to the ceremony, which Lois said she'd be waiting for him, urged him to go off. Headed towards the roof to save the day as Superman. That is so cool that they included that. I said it last time. I think it's really amazing that they gave the fans of the show that stuck around just a little glimpse into the future because everybody wanted to see him. Everybody wanted to see him with a red cape on. Or as the adult Clark Kent. Superman comics are always a treat to read. Might be a little biased considering he's my favorite. Yeah, I've always been a bigger Batman fan, but I'm also a normie. Like I'm not into comics at all, so I can't really say that I'm a huge fan. Like I would leave that to the people that actually read the comics. But Superman's just a great, number one, it's a great message. Truth, justice, and the American way. Like it's just beautiful, beautiful thing. Saving people when he doesn't actually have to, but he feels like he should. Would literally destroy everything, but he's just like, no, I think I'll just help people in peril. Like that's awesome. Like that is truly lovely. 10 best Superman and Lois Lane moments in all of Smallville. Number 10, they first meet. Hilariously awkward, yes. Took a shower together. Oh, I think I went over this. Chloe notices a spark between them first. Lois and Clark's first kiss, yeah, when he was dressed up as Green Arrow. Levitates while dancing. Hilarious. They didn't have him flying in the show, but had that scene, which is a little preview, I guess you could say. Clark reveals his powers to Lois. Clark Kent proposes. Almost get married. Then something, breaks up the wedding, of course. Saves Lois on the plane. And that is the money shot. That is literally the money shot of Smallville. Everybody's been waiting for it. Everybody wants it. And they gave us that. That's beautiful. Those are the writers actively trying to, avoid it. But eventually they're like, you know what? Let's give them something good to send this show off. I love that. No flights, no tights. They just said, you know what? Screw it. Finale episode. Let's give them something to talk about. I love that. I absolutely love it. I have great faith in James Gunn that he'll help deliver the message to the people who likes a darker Superman and the people who doesn't really know much about him. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, all right. Did I like the darker Superman? I would say yes, but that's only because I like the darker Batman. Weird thing to kind of, put together, but I loved the Christopher Nolan Batman. I thought it might not have been the traditional Batman or, the Clooney and all the different people that have played it. Like it's a little different vibe, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. Like it was dark. It was kind of like, seedy and a little sad, I guess you could say. Like it was definitely a bit more down and gray and brutal. But I enjoyed the heck out of it. I thought it was phenomenal. It's one of my favorite movie series of all time. Like trilogy. It is. I know the third one people look down on. I don't care. I don't care. I like them all. I think they're all great. Therefore, I did enjoy the Man of Steel movie. Honestly, I thought the trailer for Man of Steel is one of the best movie trailers I've ever seen. It is phenomenal. If you haven't seen it in a while, go rewatch it. It is so good. But Henry Cavill as Superman was one of the greatest matches in casting I've ever seen. Like that dude oozes Superman. And I guarantee he could have done a positive, truth, justice, and the American way, like not dark Superman, and have killed it. He would have killed it. It's unfortunate that we'll probably never see him dress up as Superman again, but the potential was there, and it was wasted. It was wasted. We only got to see him dress up as Superman like a couple of times, and most of it was just thrown together. Like, I don't even want to talk about Justice League. Good grief. How badly that was bungled. But dang, we literally witnessed one of the most annoying screw ups I've ever seen in a movie. Oh, definitely one of my favorite trilogies ever. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Dark Knight trilogy was just phenomenal. Of course, anything Christopher Nolan kind of does has that little sheen to it where it is a little more, what's a good word for it? It is a little like darker, grayer, heavy topics. It's emotionally heavy. Pretty much everything he does, honestly, has emotional heaviness to it. I don't think at any point of a Christopher Nolan movie that I've seen so far that I haven't felt incredibly like sad or the feeling of doom. Like, it is almost present in every movie he does. But I don't know, it kind of added gravitas to Batman. It was sweet. Same, I wish they at least gave him a chance in, yeah, absolutely. Different director, Zack Snyder. Say what you will about him. I think Man of Steel was good for what it was, which was kind of a darker, grittier, origin story of Superman. It was different. So if you're a fan of the comics and the original Superman concept, you probably didn't love it, right? But if you were just coming into it as, all right, this is a different take on it, let's see what it's about, I think it was pretty good. Not bad. It definitely could have used a couple rewrites. But overall, it wasn't horrendous. I wish they at least gave him a chance. Yeah, I absolutely think that and I think most people think this. I mean, if you look at the comments of any Superman trailer for the new one, it's just like, Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill. Like, clearly they had somebody that people like. People really like Henry. Whether it's for his acting or otherwise. But, yeah, they totally screwed that up. Totally screwed it up. Thing is, I like the movie. I just didn't like the Superman in the movie. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, the Superman was very... And I know people rip... I know people rip on the moment where Clark lets his father sacrifice himself to not show himself, basically, or show his abilities. Like, he just kind of wants Clark to stand there and, just accept reality and, keep his secret for a little bit longer. And I look at that as what an incredible sacrifice. Does it suck? Yes. Could he have reached him and gotten him away without other people noticing? Maybe. I mean, obviously people would have noticed all of a sudden that guy standing there is gone. Like, people would see that. They'd be like, wait, what? Was I hallucinating that guy? And all of a sudden Clark's gone. Wait, what happened? So yeah, people might not have noticed, maybe, because all that was going on, the commotion. But I look at that scene and I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. It's stunning. It's one of those moments he puts his hand out. He goes, no, stay there. Stay there. Don't do it. I know you're thinking about it. Don't do it. And he just watches his dad get, sucked up into the vortex, if you will. I think it's absolutely emotionally dramatic. It's a very sad moment, but it's beautiful. And I love Kevin Costner. So it's like it's an incredible moment. It's like Henry Cavill, Kevin Costner, and this beautiful scene. I know they nerf characters in the movies, but even Clark, before he became Superman, is still a lot faster than the human eye can see if he's actually trying. True. True. I think part of his reasoning there, again, was that people would realize that guy's just standing there and then all of a sudden he's not. Like, maybe they didn't see him grab his father and then go. They're going to notice that that guy just disappeared. Like, wait, what happened? Who knows, right? Maybe somebody puts it together. Hey, I saw a guy and then he was gone and then that guy was gone. You know, maybe. Although, how do you prove it, right? You just sound like a crazy person explaining that to somebody. But I don't know. It's a beautiful moment. I kind of liked it. Although, you know, a lot of people would have an issue with it. And I've seen a lot of people have an issue with it. But as far as movies go, it was a very, like, emotional, great scene. But yeah, I do think they totally just to summarize, totally screwed up not having Henry be in, like, a bunch of Superman. I do think they screwed up the tone of it. The director really screwed that up. It should have been brighter, should have been an actual Superman feel to it. We have Dark. That was the Batman. You know, it would have been a great juxtaposition. You have the dark Christopher Nolan Dark Knight, and then you have the ultra bright, you know, charismatic hero of the day. Everybody loves him kind of thing. Like, it would have been a beautiful juxtaposition for Clark. I think it would have been great, but they totally screwed that up. Who knows? I don't know too much about the James Gunn Superman that's coming out. It's coming out kind of soon at this point, but I really hope it's not another origin story. Is it? Is it another origin story? I really hope not. We've been there. We've done that. Obviously, I think Smallville absolutely crushed it. Smallville's Clark and Lois remains iconic through the relationship though the relationship was only 3 seasons. Right, it was short. Yeah, they nailed the casting in this show. They absolutely killed it. Tom Welling was a great Clark Kent. Really underrated, frankly. 3 seasons we got from the show was just as long as people got from the 90s Lois and Clark series and much more than anyone got from the previous Superman movies and TV shows. The showrunners also never expected to reach the point of bringing them together. We got lucky. It was a gift that was much appreciated. Yeah, as I said, I mean, they had to wait for that. What was it? Was it the Brandon Routh one in 2006? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, the gift of the finale too. I haven't seen the finale, but the fact that he dons the tights is pretty amazing. That was a beautiful gift to the people that watched the show. That's what's really noticeable about Batman and Superman's relationship. They're polar opposites, and it's very prominent even to the villains. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. We were robbed of a beautiful juxtaposition there between the Dark Knight series just ended, or maybe it was going on still. Can you imagine if we had the dark Batman and the super light and, you know, friendly Superman? Like, that would have been incredible. Dang. I think they were released around the same times too, right? That would have been awesome. Trilogy for Batman, trilogy for Superman. Ugh. Robbed. My opinion, the moment they introduced Lois in season 4 was when I started their relationship. So to me, it lasted 6 seasons. Well, yeah, basically. There was some heavy, they might have been bickering back and forth and calling each other's names, but that was heavy flirting. They just didn't know it yet. Or maybe they did, deep down. Because once you introduced Lois in the Superman universe, that's the end game relationship for Clark's Superman. Even though we got like 3.5 more seasons of Lana as the main love interest, Lois was always going to be the one Clark would eventually find his way to. I was hoping the opposite. And that's just for selfish reasons. Mostly iconic scenes between Lois and Clark happened before they were formally together. The romance was probably a 2-season build-up that was delayed for 5 seasons. Yeah, absolutely. But they had to. They literally had to. First Superman adaptation to have Lois know Clark's secret before he's Superman, which followed through to the DCEU. James Gunn made it clear when he first announced the movie that it would not be an origin story, as we've already seen it too much. Thank the Lord. Been there, done that. We've done it. We don't need it. He also said he's already been established as Superman for a couple years, and that's an integral part of the plot. Okay. All right. We get to see an active Superman again. That's kind of cool. Really wish they played into the relationship longer. It was stupid for them to drag it out with Lana. No, it wasn't. What? No. As long as they did, even though we know the end game was Lois and Clark. Lois. Should have been over as soon as she married Lex, and Lana, should have stayed the high school crush while slowly moving the relationship to Lois and them catching feelings for each other. Lois' slow burn romance was probably a 2-season build-up that was delayed for 5 seasons. Again, we found out why. It's because Warner Brothers was like, no, don't. Stop. We release our movie first. Erica Durance is the best Lois Lane we've ever had. Ooh, is that a hot take? Or is that true? That's the question. I think we got everything from their friendship, will they, won't they, dating, secret reveal, finally marriage. 3 seasons were perfect. Wish they had 2 more seasons to build the relationship. Huh? They had like 5 seasons. Barely had time together in season 7. Unpopular. Oh, here we go. I don't think they should have introduced Lois in a show called Smallville. It was supposed to only focus on its time in high school, never Metropolis and Lois. I get it, last 10 seasons, so bring on the downvotes. What? Bring on the downvotes. The reason she was in the show in the first place was due to fan service and keep the show from getting stale. Yeah, that's probably true. Reason why they moved to Metropolis again, keep the show from getting stale and the actors weren't getting any younger. That's definitely true. Were they 18 when they started filming, or were they, that typical Hollywood, like, I was 25 and in high school? Still worth the wait. I love the fact that they did the time jump. That is so cool. I wish more shows would do that. And frankly, movies as well. Movies typically do it if they do have a lot of, lore and stuff like that. But I wish more television shows would do that so we could see into the future. What it would have been if they had more seasons, more episodes. Honestly, a really great decision because around this time, it can really take things off for the franchising, which is nearing the climax for DC. Which is him soon dying to Doomsday and eventually coming back, which then leads to the making of the Justice League around the same time, and then to, of course, probably the greatest climax for Superman and the Justice League, which is taking on Darkseid. Interesting. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about that. Doomsday, any of it. I do know they made that first Justice League movie way too quick. Way too quick. Swear, they must have had internal meetings that were literally just like, well, look what the Avengers are doing. We should do that too. Meanwhile, you had characters in the movie which I had no idea about. Cyborg, never heard of him. No idea. And it's just like, why did you rush it? You could have built it up like Marvel did. It took years to build that up, to build the interest, build the fan base. Maybe you get some Marvel people coming over to see it just because Marvel's kind of wrapping up. Like, they could have drawn that out to, like, what is all the way to Endgame? Was that 20 years, 15 years? It was a lot of years. Like, they just jumped the gun. Cyborg is usually on the Teen Titans. Yeah. Literally had no idea that was a character, a thing, nothing. That'd be like, here's the Avengers. I have no idea who Black Widow is. Or I have no idea who, Thor is. Who's Thor? No idea. They built him up. They did their best to build him up and then create that world. But yeah, that was that's unforgivable, honestly. That was just a money grab. I saw that movie in the theaters. I think it was Thanksgiving. I literally saw it on Thanksgiving in the US here. It was a pretty major holiday. And I was just so disappointed. Leaving the theater disappointed, which is crazy. If you leave the theater disappointed, that is like instant negative. Like that's like guttural reaction to it. It's like, dang, that was not great. Smallville episode Lois and Clark fans will love. Featured so many amazing ships that it's tricky to pick a winner, from Chloe and Oliver to Lex Luthor and Lana Lang. The Superman Origins series featured some seriously memorable romances that spawned tons of fan-made videos on YouTube. A little meta. But above all, Clark Kent and Lois Lane were the best Smallville ship. The ship that worked. The ship that floated. And the one that was most worth waiting for. While Lois and Clark's relationship didn't properly start until season 9, when both started to admit they had feelings for one another, there were so many amazing moments that preceded that point. Lois joined Smallville in season 4. She improved the series immensely. Clark and Wanda's on-again, off-again relationship got boring very quickly. Didn't get boring to me. I loved it. I ate it up. Lois and Clark's constant jibs and put-downs made the show more interesting, and Lois was a much-needed source of light relief. Her stamina and strength also made her the perfect comrade for Clark, which is why it was easy to start shipping the pair so early on. And the Smallville episode that made me ship them the most, before they ever got together, was Crimson. In the episode, Lois tries a brand new lipstick. I literally looked down and I was like, it must be the lipstick. And then read that sentence. Not knowing that it's laced with red kryptonite. Hello. Lord have mercy. It instantly makes her attracted to Clark. I mean, what kind of power is that? That's a heck of a power right there. He's making it clear that we're finally getting the Teen Titans in live action. Good. Thankfully, James Gunn actually reads comics, and from what I've been seeing, he's been planning out the franchise flawlessly right now. That's good. That is good to have somebody at the helm that actually knows what he's doing. I mean, obviously, I loved all of the Guardians of the Galaxies, so clearly he's able to run multiple movies over the years and have them all be good. Like, I even brought up the box office numbers. Like, every single one of those movies did well. And right around the same, within $100 million, same success, which is impressive. As a love connection between the pair seems so unexpected this early in the show, it's super fun to watch. After going to the Kent farm to find Clark, Lois asks Martha to leave them alone. Hello. Get out of here. Lois gives Clark a mix CD. Dang, back in the day. Back in the day, that was the ultimate sign of love. That she's filled with White Snake power ballads. Oh, boy. Here I go again on my own. Then Lois tells Clark, there's nothing I love more than slow dancing with some big, strong arms around me, just like yours, Smallville. Clark is obviously surprised by this massive shift in temperament from the usually hostile Lois, but he goes along with it. I'm sure he does. While Lois goes to put the CD on, lower the lights, pour the wine, put out the cheese, put on the dancing shoes, or take off the dancing shoes. Clark disappears in his trademark blur. However, their encounter doesn't end there. When Lois finds Clark at the Daily Planet building, she reveals that she got a tattoo that reads Lois and Clark forever. Oh my gosh. But where? She tells a shocked Clark that he should get one to match. Then she pulls him into a cupboard and proceeds to kiss him. Hello. Oh. I gotta read this quieter, I guess. Of course, Lois's lipstick infects Clark with red kryptonite, so he goes a little wild. They end up in the watchtower, and Lois says, last time I was here, I was with a good friend of yours. Clark's reply is brilliantly snarky. Obviously, he wasn't that good. Oh, Clark. Oh, Clark, that was a good one. However, before anything can happen, Clark spots an invitation to Lana and Lex's engagement party. Oh boy. And his jealousy kicks in. Yep, that would ruin the mood. That would do it. Finally establishing the Bat Fam, which is a lot of people have been waiting for because of Bruce's other adopted children like Jason, Cassandra, Tim, Duke, alongside his surprise son Damian Wayne. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow being the second movie in the franchise after Superman. And of course, more shine on fan favorite villains. Nice. Very nice. I'm glad to see that they're building it out, taking their time, all that good stuff. The reason this episode made me ship Lois and Clark super hard is that their chemistry is undeniable. While viewers were used to seeing this pair bicker, argue, and make jokes constantly, seeing them come together physically was surprising. As the pair had been so tactile with one another in the episode, it was clear that their physical chemistry was just as buoyant as their verbal banter. Even though Clark's relationship with Lana was still the focus in season 6, this major hint that Lois and Clark would one day be together was completely perfect. When their personalities go back to normal, Lois and Clark are bemused by what happened between them, but can't completely remember it. Lois is forced to admit some of her feelings for Clark might have been real. After all, Whitesnake on a mix CD equals true love, doesn't it? It does. It does. Absolutely. Then you have to come up with like a name for the mix CD, like Clark's Mix, or This Is For You, or all the things, I haven't said on this CD or whatever. Crimson gave fans what they dreamed of long before Lois and Clark got together for real, and I'll always love the writers of Smallville for that. Yeah, the writers nailed it. The writers were so good for that show. Where are they gone? What has their career become? Like, clearly they were doing good things. Can't forget about Batman's two oldest adopted sons, Dick and Jason. That's right. Getting a dynamic duo movie. Nice. Very nice. I don't know too much about, obviously, I'm, familiar with too much of it. But I am excited to see a little bit more out of DC. It feels like they've, well, put it bluntly, they have not performed well recently. Where it's just like, that Marvel Endgame saga or timeline was just chef's kiss. Performed beautifully. They must have been thinking about that for years. And to have the patience to just, nope, we're doing this one, and we'll do that one, and then we're going to build and build and build and build. Amazing. Truly amazing. And back to your earlier statement, Doomsday is Superman's first, true challenge. Rather you see it for yourself whenever that happens, because it'll be much more interesting than seeing me explain it. Yeah, that's true. And Darkseid is basically DC's version of Thanos. Okay, much stronger and dangerous. Good stuff. I like that. Thanos was a good character. Very good character. Without the need of any outside powers, the stones, the Infinity Stones. Well, that'll be terrifying. I'm hoping that's years down the road. I definitely have a fatigue for superhero movies right now where I'm just trying to get through, and get refocused on it and just build up a little bit of anticipation. Like, it was to the point, Marvel was just greedy, like money hungry. After Endgame, well, even before Endgame, really, but after Endgame, it just seemed like, okay, after Endgame, take a couple years off, let people kind of process what the heck they just saw, and then eventually move on to other stuff. But no, they literally, you remember, I think they still have them, where it's, I think they still have it. Let's see. They still have it. It's like a list of the upcoming movies that they're releasing. Like, at a certain point, it's like, all right, I know a lot of these are TBD, but previously, I think it was right after Endgame, they released a huge list like this of just movie, 4 months later, movie, 6 months later, movie, 6 months later, movie, 4 months later, movie. And you're just like, okay, getting to be a bit much. Like, you're going to lose the normal people, like the normies. If you're going to lose the normies that just kind of came in and were like swept up in it, you'll still have your main audience, which is good. But as you can see, even with characters and, you know, the main audience, it's not enough to get the big numbers that they were getting. Like, obviously, Spider-Man got the numbers and whatnot, but a lot of the recent ones have not performed very well. And it's just like, you got to space them out. You got to give people time. You can't just hit them, boom, 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 boom. It's too much. Way too much. Like, most of these people have never heard of. Wonder Man, never heard of. Obviously, we've seen Fantastic Four before. Ironheart, never heard of. Thunderbolts, never heard of. Blade, hello. I swear, if they don't cast Wesley Snipes in that, I'm going to be so mad. Armor Wars, never heard of. Shang-Chi, didn't the first one, like, bomb? Some of these must be, like, TV shows, hopefully. Yeah, I think some of these are TV shows. So hopefully they're not all movies. Good grief. Like Avengers Doomsday, I don't know. Like, I really don't know, like, what goes into that. Are they going to explain that entire buildup in a single movie? Like, that doesn't jive with how they handled Endgame at all. Like, they built up to it over many solo movies. Like, it just seems like they're going the lazy route. They're just like, oh, here's a story. I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. I get it if you're still into it and you're watching everything. I totally get that. I love it for you. Enjoy it. But for me, a normie, like, it's overkill. Complete overkill. To the point where I'm not too interested. Thankfully, we've been hearing that Thunderbolts is really good. It's good. I think the problem they'll have most is with Ironheart. I definitely believe it can be good, but one of the most important and interesting parts of her origin story is that Tony Stark was her mentor. But of course, that can't be the case in this. Oh, geez. What's up, Dunny? What's going on? Been here for a while. Forgot to say hi. Well, hello. Happy Friday. He'll probably explain Doomsday and Fantastic Four because he's primarily a Fantastic Four villain. Well, I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. It's just, I don't know. I really wish they would take their time with this stuff and just space it out. Space it out. Or just enjoy slightly less buzz, I guess you could call it. Public buzz. Like, a lot of people are checked out. Like, it's just the case. But if it's a big one like Spider-Man or, you know, probably Superman, obviously the numbers will be there. But I really don't see anything else cracking a billion. I really don't. Let's go ahead and move on. This is going to be very funny. It's kind of funny how we go from, like, romance to comedy to heartbreak, romance to comedy. That is the roller coaster of Todd React. It just goes whoop, whoop, whoop. I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. It's a workout. It's an emotional workout. But this one is called Smash. I almost said Smash Mouth. Everybody once told me the world was going to roll me. Smosh Mouth Animated. Who's Santa here? This obviously was, I'm assuming, around the holidays. Who's Santa here? And it's by the same animator for the last time, the last stream, so it's got to be amazing. Avengers Secret Wars is the best chance they have, arguably the most pivotal, thrilling, and climactic comic run in Marvel. Here's hoping. Here's hoping that comes out in 2035. 2035. I think that's when I'll be ready for another run. Maybe. No, I will. At that point, I'll definitely be. All right, let's go ahead and bring it up. Boom. There we go. Here we go.
This is a lot of pages,
this is
John.
a drama.
Okay.
It's
Oh, it's
called
a drama.
You can. I'm just
Ooh,
reading it as a
drama.
drama. Yeah.
Okay. A Christmas drama.
It's called "Who's Santa Here?" Question mark.
What the does that even mean?
You're gonna find out.
Written by Amanda Lehan Kento.
Oh.
Angela Bussin, hair in 2 little tiny cute braids, gripping her puppy mug and wearing a full-on Santa outfit, beard and all.
I'm grateful. Merry almost Christmas, biatches.
Buff Shane, who's married to Courtney now, slowly walks up to Angela.
Oh
He looks
my
nervous and deadly serious.
Hey, Chica.
What? Chica?
You didn't hear?
Angela giggling and smiling wide, not understanding that he is not f***ing around.
Hear what? Like my outfit? I'm Santa. I thought it would be fun and cute. Everyone's gonna shit a brick when they see me.
Buff Shane, who's married to Courtney now,
Buff Shane.
puts a
who's
hand
married
on
to
her
Courtney.
shoulder.
No, baby girl. Stop. No one's going to be shitting anything because
Angela rips his hand off her shoulder and gives him the middle finger.
What do you mean, Buff Shane? You're
Whoa.
scaring me.
Sexy Chance saunters up. His lips are pursed. Outfit impeccable.
No, Angela. You're scaring us.
Angela whips her head back and forth between both of them. Buff Shane, who's married to Courtney now, puts his hand back on her shoulder. This time,
It's the little head
she
that's getting
doesn't
me.
rip it off.
I literally
someone
just
else
mentioned this.
is already Santa
Tank Man.
today, Chica.
Chica?
Everything stops. The world halts. The moon cracks wide open. Emily, super far away at her desk, says to no one in particular in a Texas accent, "Oh my God." And
my
Bailey turns to
God.
her, "Were you talking to me?" Angela stops breathing for one whole second.
Who else is dressed as Santa today? Who?
Sexy Chance and Buff Shane, who's married to Courtney now, shake their heads.
It's
Out of nowhere, we see big, tall mother, Amanda, strolls over to them with her dick out.
What?
Your is out.
Amanda.
Oh, wait, let me add that. With her super big dick out.
You can't add that.
Eating a cheese pack and chugging a big bottle of wine. She is the one dressed like Santa. Shit. Ho, ho, ho! How's everything going? What are memes? I kid. I'm Santa.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Isn't this fun? Amanda stops dead in her tracks. She stares at her once best friend / soulmate, Angela. Excuse me? I'm Santa. Why are you Santa? Angela stares right at Amanda like she's never seen her before.
It's my turn to be funny, Amanda. So I thought, what a better way to be funny than be Santa? I want it to be a surprise. Why are you doing this to me? Why?
Angela
Wait, is
spins
her
in a circle,
still
arms
out while
super
she's talking to
dramatic.
everybody? That's crazy. That's
This
crazy.
is my job. Emily from Pitt literally asked me to do this. I thought you, of all people, would respect that.
You guys are out of control. I'm married to Courtney. Have you seen the TikTok about...
Stop it, Buff Shane. I'm married to the booty hole. Wrong time.
Angela screams loudly and stomps her feet.
Angela.
This isn't fair. You know what's not fair? Being called Angela every day. And people going, "Oh shit, haha, Amanda, sorry, haha. You guys are just always together, ha 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 ha." No, not anymore. And also, I'm 6 feet fucking tall. There's a difference, but it's true. At one point, we were basically one. Sweet kisses under the bridge, dinner in Manhattan, horsey rides on the mountains in Malibu.
Wow.
But we're not that anymore. I am me. and
Sounds
I
like a
have to
romance
separate
for the
myself.
ages.
So for today,
I am the only one who can be Santa.
Amanda, I told you 1,000 times. You are married. Stop this dirty talk. I am Santa.
Chicas, Let's not.
Just then, both Amanda and Angela backhand Buff Shane so hard it completely propels him into one of the walls right into the conference room. All that's left is the Kool-Aid guy outline hole in the wall. Angela, if you won't listen to me, then listen to my real friends. Just then, 200 ripped as reindeer come crashing down through the ceiling.
How can a reindeer be ripped?
We hear Emily at her desk.
Hey, have you seen kangaroos that are
in a
ripped?
Texas accent? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Bailey, right next to her, says, Are you talking to me? Hey guys. Leave our mommy alone, says the reindeer. And just then, the ripped reindeer
The one in the
punches
back?
Angela so hard,
Oh.
she flies backward into the already open hole into the conference room and lands on Buff Shane, who's married to Courtney now.
Ouchies!
Sorry about that.
Flames erupt around Amanda.
Oh.
There is fucking glitter everywhere. Hot chocolate bursts out of her pores. Her skin becomes velvet. Her eyes glaze over. Sugar plums dancing around her head, whatever the fuck those are. Basically, she is drunk with power.
This is so unhinged.
Everyone will know my name. Sexy Chance jumps into the hole in the conference room and lands on Angela and Buff Shane.
Cuddle me. I'm scared. I've got you, son.
Just then, Amanda gets on her sled, and all the ripped as fuck reindeer give Angela, Sexy Chance, and Buff Shane, who's married to Courtney now, the middle finger. All will bow in my name. Time to take over
Oh my God. Number one, it keeps getting crazier and I'm more unhinged. Number two, this screams Reddit, doesn't it?
Just then, Amanda is gone. Or should we say, Santa. Sexy Chance turns to Angela.
So, you went on a horsey ride in Malibu?
Yeah, it was actually really enjoyable.
Nice.
I like horsies.
Nice.
End.
I don't even know what to say about that other than, yes, it is unhinged. And honestly, it feels like one of those, I don't know if you've seen one of these before, but everybody puts in like a sentence, or like one of the other ones is everybody puts in one word and it creates a story. That very much seems like this entire thing was ad-libbed line by line. Like that was so crazy. 200 ripped and sexy reindeer enter the scene. I do appreciate the fact that whenever they introduced Shane, they introduced it as married to Courtney now. That is very funny. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love. That was hilarious and beautifully done, beautifully animated. Obviously, the other one's just as great, so check out their channel. There might be other amazing videos out there just waiting to be watched, reacted to, if you feel so inclined. Throw the link down below in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. Wow. Now, we do have some information for Smosh, but honestly, we've been through it. We have been, there's not that much. But we do have a little bit here. This is the list, current list of cast members. Began expanding to additional cast members in 2010. That is literally 15 years ago. 15. Boy, where's the time gone? Obviously, it went through a couple different things. Defy Media, which they had some interesting words to talk about that. Anthony and Ian talk about any sort of management company and whatnot. Like those management companies usually for YouTubers are scummy. Just completely scummy. Like they take your, I think, allegedly, they take your ad revenue and then pay you a percentage of that. And then they take, I think, your merch and give you a percentage of that. And then they keep, so they're in charge of literally your purse strings. Like that is, I don't know how you would give that away. Obviously, you're doing it to put somebody in charge of marketing and managing and editing and maybe editing, advertising, all that stuff. Like you're giving that control over so you can get ad revenue, like get sponsors easily, all that kind of stuff. You're putting a corporate face to your independent channel. To me, that just seems gross. really gross. I don't like the idea of signing anything over. I think it just kind of evaporates any sort of, this is just a couple of people running a individual channel, Like it kind of ruins the authenticity a little bit. Then they went to Mythical, and then they bought it back, which honestly I think is the greatest thing they could have done. Let's see here. Smosh began to see cast members leave consistently throughout 2017 and 2018. On 2017, Anthony announced he would be leaving due to lack of creative freedom. Shortly after, Lasercorn and Dohiniki announced they would no longer be full-time due to similar reasons. Fritz also left Smosh Games after being accused of unwanted behavior, is how we'll talk about that, SA. Both Jovenshire and Takahashi left the company in 2018 as well, continued to appear as freelance employees, and then departed much later on, no announcement. Later that year, Defy Media abruptly announced that they would be shutting down all operations and laying off their employees. During this time, both Johnson and Bose left. The remaining cast stayed with the company while being independent. Gosh, that's gross. In 2019, they brought in a bunch of different people. Amanda, Chance, Kimmy, Jackie, Rasha, Angela. Like, clearly, they brought in a lot of great people after Mythical took control, which is great. Got out from under that, I would argue, predatory company. Padilla's return and Smosh as an independent venture, which is great. I love that everybody's stuck with it. It's got to feel so freeing to have total control again. And it's got, honestly, it probably trickles down to the cast as well. Like, it feels better to have people that have been in your position in the leadership role. Sure. Obviously, the current cast, Ian, Anthony, Keith, Olivia, Noah, Courtney, Shane, Damian, Amanda, Chance, Arasha, Angela, Tommy, Spencer, Trevor. Warmer. See, do I recognize any of these people? I do not recognize any of these people. That definitely tells you I was not watching Smosh before I started reacting to him. That's literally how I got introduced to him. Obviously, I knew of Smosh as a channel. Like, I'd heard the name because, number one, they were the biggest channel on YouTube for a while, which helps. But they were mentioned in other videos by other people, and maybe I saw Ian somewhere on a different channel. But yeah, I was never watching them before this, which is cool. So yeah, I don't recognize anybody before the current folks. That's interesting. Honestly, I think they have a heck of a team right now. They are putting out some amazing content. Smosh star Amanda announces pregnancy. This just happened, a couple weeks ago? A week ago? Now a mom-to-be. Congratulations. Starting a family of her own, the YouTube star 37 shared adorable photos on social media on Thursday, April 24th of this year, announcing that she would be soon adding mother to her resume. Mother, mama, May, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Mommy, hey ma. She captioned an Instagram carousel listing. That should definitely say listing. Many translations of the word mother. I always think of the Stewie Griffin, mom, mommy, mama, mom. People app is now blah, blah, blah. There you go. For her first photo, stood solo wearing a dual-colored orange and white long-sleeve button-down top, smiling mama-to-be left the shirt undone to bare her belly. Portrait appeared to be taken inside of a home. She tagged her beau in the photos as he appeared alongside her in 2 of the 5. Movie Mandy is also Mother Mandy, fellow YouTuber Courtney Miller commented. So which Smosh video are they watching first? Smosh official Instagram account asked. That's funny. That's great. Congratulations to them both. Very cool. Happy 10 years. We are still so effing cool. They posted on March 27th, so they had a 10-year anniversary. That's very cool. One person wrote, the fact that both of y'all have been glowing since day one says so much. Another one said, Smosh being 20 and Amanda and H being 10, the anniversaries this year are so cute. That's awesome. It'll be interesting to see how that affects any of the skits or the jokes or whatever. I'm sure there'll be plenty. Absolutely amazing, hilarious jokes about that. 15 things, you didn't know about Smosh, one of YouTube's biggest channels. Turning a pet project into an empire. 15 fascinating facts. Padilla created Smosh.com by himself in 2002. Bought the domain name. Following year, he began uploading Flash games and movies to Newgrounds. Oh, shout out to the Newgrounds.com people. Oh, that was the site. That was such a great site. Flash games were amazing. I loved it. I personally uploaded a Flash animation to that site. I don't know if you'd be able to find it today. I don't even know if that account still exists. Who knows? But I did upload a Flash animation I made in high school to that website. I think trying to think, did I upload my game? I made a Flash game quite a few years ago, the Newgrounds. I think I did. It was extremely difficult. It was a project in my computer animation class in high school. They had just created those classes because it was kind of emerging at that point. Like everybody was into video games. They were starting to expand. Colleges, universities were getting big into it, offering degrees in it and, trying to bolster this huge industry that was surpassing, at the time, they were about to surpass Hollywood and movie making. We're talking early 2000s, middle 2000s. And I just got so into it, and I created a Flash game. It was how would you describe it? I guess it was not a puzzle. It was basically just get from here to there without dying, basically. And if you can, collect diamonds. So diamonds were lives in this game. But I made it so obnoxiously hard that, my enemies were like spiders and flames and everything I could just possibly make. I only beat it once. And I was like, as long as I can beat it once, I can consider this thing done. So I made it once, I beat it once, and then I was like, done with it. And I watched, because I had other classmates try it, and I just watched them die and die and die and die. It was so funny. And I was just like, hey, I beat it once. It's doable, but it is ridiculously hard. Like, there's timing involved with, like, the enemies and whatnot. Like, it was terrible. And then some of the enemies were totally random. So some of it was timing, and some of it was completely randomized. It was just absolutely brutal to go from one location to the other. But yeah, Newgrounds was awesome. That was my high school, for sure. Duo and E-Bomb's World, of course. The duo uploaded its first YouTube video in 2005. Oh my gosh. I was heavy into MySpace in 2005. Video features both friends dancing and playing air guitar to the Power Rangers theme song, so you'd be forgiven for not recognizing them through their mountains of hair. Oh my god. Oh, that's brutal. That quality, though. Number one, let's take in the room itself, right? You got, see if I can get it. You got the bikini-clad women poster in the back. Classic. Classic for any growing boy. You got the CDs, the blank CDs probably on the wall. That actually looks kind of cool. Just the sheer amount of posters of bands and whatever. Maybe movies. Maybe music festivals at that point. Warped Tour and whatnot. Abstract designs. This is so classic. This looks like a dorm room, actually. This looks like a dorm room. That bed is very similar to pretty much every university bed you've ever seen in your life. But yeah, the bikini scantily clad women poster. That is so classic. Smosh had the most watched video on YouTube in the site's early days. Video which featured them singing the Pokemon theme song at the top spot. Since been removed for copyright infringement. Oh, brutal. Been the most subscribed channel on YouTube 3 different times. That's incredible. They know just how ridiculous their old videos are. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. They put their own spin on portable snack foods in their most popular video. Shaved head era Britney Spears beef and go. Comes in a handy tube while you eat it at the shop or the strip mall. Or drive to the strip club. That's fun. The beef and go. Fan fiction. Smosh is building an empire. Channel was acquired by The Truth. These videos always rake in the views, don't they? Why I left BuzzFeed. Why I left Smosh. Why I left, I don't know, name it. Those always do some views, and then the rest of the channel kind of usually fades. But obviously Anthony's didn't. I love the fact that they're back. I love the fact that they bought it, too. That is really, really incredible. Number one, obviously, it brought them in tons of money, internet fame, and stuff like that. But, you know, that's your baby. That's your thing. Like, Todd Reacts is my thing. You know, if I were to sell it off, I would feel horrible about that. How would I sell it off? It's literally got my name on it. I guess I'd have to change it to something else, right? Some sort of nondescript descriptor. Like, I don't know. What's a name? I don't know. Literally, if I could come up with a name, I probably would have chose it, but I couldn't. So, Todd Reacts it is, right? But, like Smosh. What does it mean? I don't know. But it's a name. It is definitely a name. It's great that they have it back. You know, they probably, I would assume they probably felt like, why did we ever sell it? Like, obviously, maybe for a payday, of course. But at a certain point, it's just like, I miss it. I miss it. Like, I don't know if I'd ever be able to part with anything I created. You know, like, certainly some people do that, where they create this beautiful company and all that stuff, and then they just walk away from it. I don't know if I'd ever be able to do that. Like, that takes a lot. That takes a lot of, you know, acceptance of it not being in your control anymore, you know, not being your thing, and just kind of saying goodbye. That is, I don't know if a lot of us have that in us, to be able to just go, all right, it's yours. I'm just going to walk away with this bag. Like, sure, it seems nice. It sounds nice, you know, like, dang, what I made is worth that much. But after a while, I think it would kind of grind on you. Like, dang, why did I do that? You know, seeing it grow without you or seeing it falter without you, that's got to be brutal. That's got to be absolutely rough. See it kind of like nosedive a little bit. Hmm. All right. I love that. That was very funny. It was extremely funny. Those animations are beautiful. And Smosh is so perfect for that. There's so many videos that would make great animations. Just even the gaming alone. Like that Five Nights at Freddy's one was fantastic. And watching it, you would never think, oh, this would be good as an animation. But then you see it as an animation, and it makes it so much funnier. The person animating it has a good sense of humor. They know what to create, what to make the scene look like to make it that much funnier. Like having Buff Shane be huge with like a tiny little head. Like that's just funny visually. And it just adds to it. So not only are you laughing from Buff Shane, you're laughing at small head, big body Shane. It's like double the joke. Fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is from One Tree Hill. It is Brooke and Nathan, I See You. So we're going back to the romance. A little comedy, back to the romance. Where we go next? Who knows? I literally have no idea what to expect from SummerNight. I'm assuming it's romance. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. Who knows? I don't. That's the beauty of this. All right, go ahead and jump in. Do we have a song for this? It's Missio, I See You. I don't know if I've heard this before. Really don't. Let's go ahead and bring it up and jump in.
Brooke, you okay?
Yeah.
That was one of those, yeah, no. The Nathan Haley folks right now are like cringing hard, probably. I realize that I'm going back and forth between the different pairings. That's just because people have their own, have their own interests. They like Nathan and Haley. They like Nathan and Brooke. They like Brooke and Lucas. Why could I not think of Lucas? They like Peyton and Lucas. That is such a huge house.
At least as screwed up as me. Now he's the best guy I know.
But on the list of 100 things you screwed up in your life, I'd say losing Brooke Davis is number 1 through 99.
Well, that friendship, they should have developed them more. Honestly, it seems like they're a pretty good pairing.
You went out of your way to take advantage of a girl who obviously has feelings for somebody else. I'd just like to say, I'm very proud of my friend Brooke Davis.
What's up, Dudekin?
Give Brooke my best.
Happy Friday.
Tell her I said not to be afraid of what comes next.
Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Nathan had an arc of redemption. Brooke kind of had an arc of redemption. Not kind of, definitely did. So it seems like they would naturally kind of meet somewhere.
Yeah, Brooke is dead.
His godmother nearly died that night in front of his eyes. His son said to give that to you.
Nathan and I want you to be James's godmother. Those are the two people who love you the most in the world. Almost as much as I do.
Oh my gosh, I remember those video recorders, camcorders.
Hey, 99! Thought you were gonna protect 23! You better watch Nathan's back!
Wait a second. That was Joe. I completely space on his last name, Manganiello, something like that.
Great. So Nathan's coming.
This is Julian Baker. I have Dan and Nathan Scott, and we're coming to the hospital.
The two of us have been on very similar roads. And we both grew into kind of bad versions of ourselves way too fast. We're still here too.
Thanks.
That's the crux of it, right? Both kind of had redemption
nice
arcs.
to see you too.
I say goodbye to this chapter of my life.
And I look forward to what comes next.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent edit. Go ahead and throw that some love. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love yourself. And not forgetting those who are watching live. Throw that in the chat for you all. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring up some information more on Brooke and Nathan. Dive a little bit deeper. Also known by their portmanteau. I've never seen that word before. That's crazy. Interesting word. Wraithen. Our relationship on One Tree Hill. Oh, they had a one-night stand. Okay. Close friends. Began and ended on the pilot. Brooke and Nathan have little interaction in season 1. Since they are both popular, they are shown to be friends. Season 4, a blast from the past finds Nathan and Brooke. It is revealed at a party that the two made an adult tape, if you will. While Nathan and Peyton were still together, two briefly rehashed their history and agree having intimacy with each other was a mistake. A little romp. From season 5, from then on, Brooke and Nathan remain good friends throughout the series. Brooke was even made the godmother of Nathan's son, Jamie. Prior to the show, they got it on, even though he was in a relationship with Peyton, Brooke's best friend. This happened only once in the whole series when they were drunk, and Nathan was still a bad guy. Both didn't know Haley yet. Brooke was the maid of honor along with Peyton for Nathan's wife, Haley, at their wedding. Now, in real life, making Brooke the maid of honor is wild. Wild. Would you want your maid of honor to be the person that has intimate knowledge of your now husband or soon-to-be husband? That is an interesting one, isn't it? In real life, most people would probably not be okay with that. Brooke is the godmother of Nathan's first child. Brooke and Nathan were very similar characters during the first few seasons, although they both changed and evolved a lot for the better over the series run. They're popular. They weren't nice. They were very immature. They were promiscuous as well, I would say. Very interesting. I'm just going to say it. Wraithen is my OTP, and they should have gotten married. Then somebody said, oh, come on. Think about it. Naily are always and forever meant to be. They are the OTP of literally the entire fandom. Amazing. I love how the pairings are fighting even in the comments. This doesn't deserve an article. Brooke and Nathan had a one-night fling. That's it. Oh my gosh, this person went off. Good Lord. This person took it a little too seriously. Okay, they're a little angry. They're a little perturbed. This is a friendship article, not a pairing article. I love how one person just quickly dismantled that entire post. Good friend. Good friend indeed. I mean, what's one little tape between friends, right? Braithen is the modern day Stelena, Stefan and Elena. How can Brooke and Nathan be the modern day Stefan and Elena? Stefan and Elena were in a relationship and have feelings for each other, but Brooke and Nathan just had a drunken night together. Then someone just went, LOL, no. Brooke and Nathan are friends. Brooke and Nathan are friends. We're gonna, oh my gosh. Clearly, there's no spam filter on this. Wow. Brooke confronts Nathan about Haley still loves him. Braithen playing the sprinklers in the front yard. Brooke and Nathan having fun times and creating a tape. Nathan talks to Brooke before Q's funeral about she didn't have the chance. Brooke thinks she was Sam. It's Nathan. Nathan wants Jamie, but Brooke said Nathan can't have him back. Good. What is this? Always comparing things. Modern day Eric Foreman and Donna from That 70s Show. Yeah, I suppose. Didn't Eric and Donna get together, though? I guess kind of. I don't remember the end of that show. I don't. Boy, these comments on these on the fandom site are always crazy. Always crazy. Opinions about Brooke and Nathan sleeping together. Hello. I'm on season 4. I've just watched the episode where everyone finds out that Brooke and Nathan got it on. I'm not sure what to think of this. What are people's thoughts? Oh, this will be good. Haley's reaction to it is like the funniest scenes ever to me, but I feel it was done to let Peyton off the hook a little bit, but I didn't hate it as it was a good twist. Loved it for so many reasons. Naomi got together so early on in the series, it really limited their romantic options. So it was a nice way for us to experience a little something else, but to have it fit into the construct of the show. Also showed so much growth for Nathan and Brooke because we had been on the journey. It was kind of easy to forget where they started and how subliminally gave us the opportunity to remember early flaws. So what you're saying is it was a setback. It was a relapse. Honestly, one of my favorite TV plot twists. Personally, I really like it. Thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious that Nathan has long hair at the time, so therefore the video with Brooke, he has long hair. Haha. I thought it was in character for both of them. I don't see why people say it made no sense. Definitely think in character for Nathan, but despite Brooke's flaws, I thought it was always established that she was a fiercely loyal friend to Peyton. That's why I was surprised. Meh, no, she went after Lucas after knowing Peyton liked him, so. Ooh, shots fired. Brooke wanted to sleep with Lucas. After Peyton and Nathan broke up, Brooke saw plenty of times that Peyton was falling for Lucas. Yeah, the friendships left a little to be desired, I would say. Just a little bit. Does no one think it's messed up that the kids at their high school watched a adult film of their underage fellow students? When I was in school, there was a rumor that a girl in the year above had made a film of herself and put it online. Parents were called, police were called, I think social workers got involved. Oh my gosh, yes, and I was so confused that Brooke just stood there while a tape of her was being played. Like, turn it off! That is a good point. I have not seen that scene. And if it's playing in front of everybody, like, number one, whoever the adult is in that room, if there is one, like, they're getting in trouble. 100% if they don't immediately shut it down. But yeah, that's a little creepy. That's quite creepy. Wasn't that surprising? Super hypocritical of Brooke, considering how she called Peyton a... What's a good word to use there? I guess you can read it, but Floozy. We'll say floozy. I don't think YouTube will have a problem with that one. That's so old. That's so old school. I don't even know if YouTube will consider that one. Thought it was pointless. Brooke and Peyton's friendships were already damaged enough with the whole Lucas drama. That's true. Seems true. One of my least favorite storylines. Just added to make Brooke look bad. Interesting. Interesting. No? Nathan and Brooke tape. Oh, God. What is this? I don't want to... I don't know if I want to get too deep into this. Thing with Nathan, the things she said to Peyton when she was mad, she often didn't notice that Peyton was in a bad place mentally. This, as her best friend who cried with her, how do you not notice or even realize why your friend is spiraling during the anniversary of her mom's death? That's a good point. That is a very good point. I believe the scene was sort of last-minute response to the negative feedback on Peyton and Lucas to win the audience back, which is why it feels so random and out of character. So Brooke being hypocritical isn't really regarded by some viewers because this storyline doesn't exist until this episode. If it was shown earlier as a secret that Brooke was keeping, it would be easier to call Brooke a hypocrite and question her being upset. It's a messy scene that I wish they gave more legs or deleted. Huh. I don't think Brooke sleeping with Nathan was out of character. Some fans seem to forget all too happily that Brooke was a jerk, I guess we'll say, in the first seasons. Very interesting. I mean, it depends on how you come down on that, I guess. But yeah, the fact that one exists is very creepy. Very creepy. The fact that it was played at a school, I guess, from reading that, ooh. One Tree Hill missed an opportunity with Brooke Davis and Nathan Scott. Looking back nearly 2 decades since its premiere, good grief. Time is flying. Brooke Davis and Nathan Scott's friendship deserved more of a shot than it got during the show's 9 seasons. Their arcs were ones of the most... Wait a minute. Nathan and Brooke's arcs were the ones with the most significant change from season 1 to season 9. And the deep cut similarities in their stories should have brought them together more often than it does. Their one-on-one scenes throughout the series were so few and far between that it was like grasping at straws. Brooke and Nathan could have been a friendship as strong as Lucas and Haley, especially in the later years. Absolutely. Honestly, I would have probably written them in to be close friends towards the end as they get more and more towards their final form, the arc, if you will. One Tree Hill debuted in 2003. Good grief. Don't remind me. Survived its merger into the CW, which is now on the verge of being sold. What? Oh, that's news. What? CW's potential sale. Oh, this was a couple years ago. I don't think that ever took off, but that's first time I've ever heard that. Wow. Brooke Davis was the only protagonist to be in every episode since her introduction. Nathan Scott was the mean guy with the heart of gold who needed somebody to give him a chance as much as Brooke did. Brooke stood firmly in Nathan and Haley's corner, even when Nathan stopped believing in himself and the relationship longevity and a plotline reminiscent of Kevin's self-esteem struggles on This Is Us. Brooke was a godmother, of course. Though Haley was the one who asked Brooke to be Jamie's godparent, it was easy to know Nathan co-signed the decision. He and Brooke always noticed each other's growth, especially in the later seasons. Should have leaned further into their friendship. Absolutely. Maybe they just didn't have the time. Like the show had way too many, storylines running that they couldn't add another one because they probably knew it was coming to an end. One Tree Hill lost Lucas and Haley's on-screen dynamic when Chad Michael Murray left the show after season 6, making that the perfect time to deepen Brooke and Nathan's existing bond. Seasons 5 through 9 do so to an extent, but there could have been more moments like the one in season 5 when Nathan tells Owen he made a mistake in losing Brooke. Or in season 7 when Brooke stops in to tell Nathan how she's proud of him for being a good man, husband, and father. Wow, that is quite the arc. I would not have said any of those things in season 1 to Nathan. Wow. That's unbelievable. I remember reacting to that first episode. I was just like, this dude is like the worst, the literal worst. Like everything about him, his father, just the worst. Like everything you hate in high school was Nathan in that first episode. Ugh. Those vignettes were a beautiful insight into two people who knew what it took to become a good person when circumstances could have easily made them their own worst enemies, like Cassie in Euphoria well before that show. Nathan and Brooke's history culminated in a vulnerable scene during season 6 episode Get Cape, Wear Cape, Fly, in which the characters grieved a young man named Quentin. That devastation came after a man attacked Brooke in her store. Nevertheless, Brooke showed up for her friends, and Nathan stepped up for Brooke with the evergreen reminder that her feelings were valid. Nathan spoke about their similarities and assured her he'd be a safe place for her to fall if she needed him. It was outstanding work by Bush and Lafferty, and it left a lasting impression of two characters who profoundly understood each other. Yeah, they could have absolutely built on that. Like that moment in itself is huge. But unfortunately, it came during season 6. So Brooke and Nathan's friendships had its physically romantic moments. Their bond evolved to something far greater than the tape they made in high school. Obviously, they evolved into much better people. Lucas and Haley got to navigate that together for so much of the early seasons. It would have been great to see Brooke and Nathan do the same in the later ones. But their friendship ended up being a missed opportunity. It's too bad. James Lafferty asked for this scene to be written into the show. Nice. That's great. Obviously, you realized, hey, I've been on an arc. He's been on an arc. Like, it feels like those two should be confiding in each other. That is something. That's really beautiful. Just reading about that one scene makes me feel sad that they didn't like explore that more. Dang. You know what'd be really cool is if they did the reboot or the reboot? I don't know what you would call it. Of One Tree Hill. And they at least got those two to get together to at least do some like really good scenes. Always love some good character development. Indeed. Yes. I mean, it makes shows interesting, right? Otherwise, nothing is worse than a character that doesn't evolve at all. Like, not even a little bit. From start to finish. They're the same person, hanging with the same people, and nothing really changes. That's just boring. I think it would have been a friendship as good as Haley and Lucas's. Probably. Honestly, probably even deeper. Because they're both coming from like the same place, basically. Like they both had major character development to the point where they could lean on each other. You know, that vulnerable scene. Like once you do that with somebody, you're pretty connected. Like you talk about everything. Going wrong, going right. Would have been a really good start. Boy, that makes me kind of mad. Not like upset, but like just, what could have been. Although if they're doing the reboot, chances are there. Maybe get to see some of those scenes that never happened. They're just a little bit older. Maybe they have a family or they're, catching up. And then they can connect on other things, right? Married life, kids, whatever. Dang. I like the fact that, those kinds of edits exist for friends. Like sometimes, obviously we react to a lot of romance couples and love interests and all that stuff. But I like the fact that there's also good friendship edits as well. Very good friendship edits. Ones that might have been actually, the great part is some of these edits can be made and just make it seem like they are friends or they're love interests. I mean, the one I always call back to was one of the first Vampire Diaries edits that I reacted to was with Kai and Bonnie. And it made it seem like they were a love interest. And like they had a great romance and they were together for a long time and all that good stuff. Only to find out, no, like that is not the vibe at all in the Vampire Diaries. Like it fooled me completely. Like I was just like, wow, they're great together. I love it. And then the comments are like, no. So it is kind of cool how you can make whatever a good friendship or good romance out of something that isn't there. But obviously, I think that those two would be really great together as friends. I love a good underrated friendship. Yeah. I think it would have been a friendship as good as Haley's and Lucas's. Totally agree. I think I already read those, but hey, it's late. I did love their dynamic in the show, though. Indeed. I'm glad. That's great. You know, judging off of what I've seen, obviously I've seen some of the later content just through these edits. So I can't really go too in depth on it. But my point of reference is like the first couple episodes where Nathan is just like the biggest, well, I guess I'll say D-bag that exists. And it's so wild to see him in these later episodes and seasons where he's just totally different. And it's like, oh, you know, he's one of the greatest characters and he's super nice and he had a good heart all along. And I'm thinking back to what I saw and I'm like, what? These things are not like connecting. It's not like my brain is not able to connect the two. But it's cool to hear that there was that big of a character arc. Because it's pretty impressive to take a character that people might not have liked and make them likable. Like that is the ultimate, right? It's much better than, well, what's better? Having a character go from good to bad or from bad to good? I guess it depends on the show and the story. Sometimes it's cool to watch someone go from good to bad, like Anakin Skywalker. But I think it's more, it might be more rare from good to bad. I don't know. His development starts so early in the show, too. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Honestly, you could start to see, I started to see a little bit of it in like, maybe like the third episode where he starts like questioning his dad. Like you can see it on his face. Like he starts realizing like his dad is a psycho. Pretty quick. So I'm like, okay, I can see a little bit there. There is a little there. Klaus was the pinnacle of character development. That's a good one. Good to bad to good. Anakin was a pinnacle of that too. Yeah. Absolutely. I like the examples so far. I don't know. What's more entertaining to watch? I would say because it's a little bit more rare, good to bad, it's kind of interesting. I'm trying to think of any story where the main character goes from good to bad, and then a new character, a good character, comes up and defeats them. Like that is an interesting concept. That's a fun storyline where somebody comes out of nowhere and all of a sudden they become the protagonist. Honestly, it's the moment he meets Haley. Interesting. Okay. Honestly, I didn't see it. Like that, but maybe because I just didn't think of it. That could be the case, honestly. I'm now like looking back at those scenes like, did I see it? I mean, yeah, Haley's a good character. And any sort of interest shown into Haley also shows that he has goodness in him, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. I think it does. Overall, a beautiful, beautifully written show. Kind of encapsulates those years of life very well. Obviously, there's a lot of drama involved, and will they, won't they, you know, trading off of who's with who and all that stuff. Like some of that might be a little overblown, right? Most of our lives probably doesn't involve that much. But bits and pieces of it are very relatable. So it's clearly well written. Obviously, it lasted so long. And people want it back. That's the ultimate tell of a good show, right? Good character development doesn't just involve a straight narrow of nothing, but growth. Also some regression in character development at times to then overcome that. Yeah, I agree. Setbacks. Relapse, if you will. They did that flawlessly with Klaus. From what I've seen, yeah, I think so. Obviously, I didn't get too in-depth with Klaus as much. But, yeah, Klaus was a good one. Obviously, having kids really changed him a bit from what I saw. Which, honestly, it changes everybody, right? That's what I hear. It's just, it's life-changing. It's mentality-changing. You know, you become very, throughout life, you're very inside, you know, me. And then eventually, after you have kids, what I hear, your life becomes outside, where you're thinking of others instead of yourself first. Which is, honestly, I think that's good. I think that's good for everybody, or most people, if you want to. All right, let's move on to the last video of the stream before we kick off this, hopefully, an amazing weekend. Got my fingers crossed, right? But this is SummerNight, the series. I've never heard of it. I don't know what's going to go on. It should be interesting. It is a pairing, WhiteIvy, which is a great name. That'd be a fantastic, band name. That'd be a fantastic album name. That'd be a fantastic pen name. WhiteIvy's good. That is a good one. Popular trope I like. Children can soften even the hardest of hearts. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And all it takes is that first look from what I've seen. That first look is like, you know, it just melts you. Everybody I've seen go through that kind of like comes out of that experience totally different. Go ahead and bring that up. SummerNight. Very apt. We are definitely reaching into summer. All right, let's go ahead and move it over. This is TikTok compilation, so we move the video over so we can actually see it. There we go. And here we go.
ไอวิมึงจะไปโซนบีใช่ปะวันนั้นโซนบีงั้นเดี๋ยวกูไปด้วยปาเปิดเทอมมาสวยขึ้นไหมเนี่ยไม่เหมือนมึงไอวิกูทำไมสวยเหมือนเดิม
Classic.
When you hold me in the street and you kiss me on the dance floor, I wish that it could be like that. Why can't it be like that? 'Cause I'm we keep behind closed doors. Every time I see you, I die a little more. Stolen moments that
I saw a video of Chris Evans, aka America's Backside. who said, ghosting is easier because you can tell yourself, oh, they changed their number. No, they changed their number. They don't remember mine. Acceptable, and you move on. What's harder is seeing somebody either push you away or walk away slowly, and the responses get further and further away, shorter, and you just kind of notice the pull away. Because that is way worse.
We steal as the curtain falls. It'll never be enough.
June offset. The two words that every girl loves to hear: calm down. Oh, use that one at your own risk. Speaking of Lois and Clark. Well, dang. That's a good way to say it. Bold move. That's so classic. That's so classic. That scene of like, you're an idiot. I hate you. Making out. that was close. The signs were there. The signs were definitely there if they were looking. Seems like they were caught in that classic, I know I would, but would she? Or I know I would, but would he? I don't know why they're doing that, but I'm assuming that's important. For like one of the moments.
I think I'm in love with you.
You mean as friends?
Oh, I mean, for real. Because you're like the coolest person I've ever met. And you don't even have to try.
Oh, that's Juno. Pretty sure, right?
Are we still friends? Can we be friends? Are we still friends?
This scene is probably so brutal. Oh my gosh. I can just tell. In so many of these edits. The smallest things can show that you care. That is what that was. Oh, he brought it down so it'd be easier for her to get into it.
รู้ปะตอนเด็กๆอ่ะกูไม่กล้าอยู่นอกบ้านเว้ยอันจนลาดกางเกงหมดเลยมึง
เชี่ยมึงมาบอกกูทำไมเนี่ยขอโทษกัน
เฮ้ยมึงลงไม่ได้หางไม่ถึงเดี๋ยวจม
Beautifully played.
แค่นิดเดียวเองลุยต่อได้สบาย
Just floating it out there, you know. Rather kiss a dog. What?
ต่อไปก็คงคิดถึงมึงแย่เลย
กูก็คงคิดถึงมึงเหมือนกัน
มึงเคยคิดเล่นๆเปล่าว่าถ้ามึงกับกูคบกันที่จะเป็นยังไง
เคย
It was the pause for me. Just thinking about it. Going through that fantasy.
Mày đi. เอาจริงๆนะเราอาจจะรู้จักกันมากกว่าที่เราคิดก็ได้
Like I'm your boyfriend. Why you looking at me like I'm your
Boy, this song is right on the nose. It's a good one. It's obvious who it was. Who did it? Mm.
พวกเราเนี่ยจะไม่ข้ามเส้นนี้ไปเป็นอย่างอื่นเลยค่ะ
Literally drew the line. Excellent. Very excellent. I like that. That was good. It was very good. Excellent edit of TikToks. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original. Go throw it some love. Do that right there. That only has 34 views. Come on now. That's crazy. That's criminal. Throw it in the Twitch chat for those of you watching live. Wonderful. Interesting little love story there. Friendship to love story. It's classic. Go ahead and bring up some more information, kind of deep dive into this. Figure out a little bit more of what's going on. On MDL, my drama list has a 7.6 from just 1,400 users. That is not a lot. Secret love story begins the night before summer holidays when high school nobody Loon gets together with school princess Star. It has to stay secret because school prince White, the one who invited Loon into their friend group where he got to know Star, also likes her. Interesting. The events of that summer night become the starting point of a chaotic story of friendship, love, and hate. Is it really hate, though? Is it really? Or is it just love? They hate that they love each other so much. 10 episodes, not that many. Came out last summer, which is great. Love that a summer show came out in the summer. Boy, what an interesting tag. Barista supporting character. That is so niche. That is unbelievably niche. Win, dunk. It's nice. Here we go. We're diving into the reviews. You ready? Classic high school drama. Story about friendship, somewhat growing up, and navigating life in high school drama. It takes you on an emotional roller coaster that depicts pretty accurate the worries of teenagers. I've said this before and I'll say it again. High school dramas, coming of age, movies, shows, they always speak to you. I don't care how old you get. There's something about it that it's just innate. We've all been through it. We've all gone through it. Maybe you're currently going through it. It's very relatable. It's a point in our lives, growing, maturing, bodies are changing, your interests are changing, who you are as a person is changing. Like, it's a very transitional time of your life. Certainly some love interests, some crushes that never happen, crushes that do happen, which is rare. It's just a lot. Friendships are great. Some can fall out. Some are amazing. Maybe you still have those friends, which is super cool. It's a lot. It is an emotional roller coaster. Dunk and Look Jun were my favorite were my highlight of the series, especially Dunk delivered a great performance as White. The one emotional scene made me cry, and I'm not a crier. That's probably the scene that we were seeing over and over again. It looked pretty brutal. The whole lying thing and whatnot. GMMTV, you are my number one enemy. What? I really enjoyed this series so much at the start, but as it went on, Loon and Star did so many things that really annoyed me and just continued getting worse throughout the series. No matter how likable the side characters are, if the mains are simply annoying, it makes it difficult to watch the series. What made them annoying? Such easy characters to root for, individually and together. Let's see. I was surprised that I was shipping White and Ivy the most of every character. Played off each other well. Where are we getting the negative from? Disappointed that they teased that they would get together, but just ended it off on, we can't date, we're better off as friends. Oh. As the series went on, I realized that both Loon and Star really need to mature and become better people. Interesting. Oh, so they don't happen. Honestly, I kind of like that in a way. That kind of, that's relatable for a lot of folks. High school flings, summer flings, that's literally a thing. Summer fling is literally a concept that certainly happens. I don't mind it, honestly. And I like the struggle. I like the struggle between being friends. Should we push the friendship into something else? Drawing the line while they were on the dock, it looked like. And then he's like, oh, nope, can't promise that. And then it's like this push and pull and tease, and I don't like that. It's interesting. It's much better than just a simple, like, we're friends, we're really good friends, now we're lovers. And it's just like, all right, we've seen that. Let's give it a little bit of, like we were talking about earlier, a little relapse, a little, struggle. Big fan of both. Win and Dunk, not this series so far. First time win isn't the draw for me here, and the girl who plays Star is adorable, but don't like Star either. Here's hoping White and Ivy get together. Well, I almost never watch Thai dramas. The only Thai drama I've watched is F4 Thailand, which is a remake of a Korean drama. I got interested in this one because I saw an ad for it. After watching it, I get it now. I really like the story. In my opinion, the main characters are very well developed. I could clearly understand their actions when problems came up. It felt so smooth and natural. Character writing is really good and different from other dramas. This time, it's the female lead who's the popular one at school, Miss Perfect. Whereas usually that role goes to the male lead. The names of the characters are also thoughtfully chosen. Star really shines and burns herself out to keep glowing, just like a star. Even though it's tiring for her sometimes, she chooses to keep shining. Loon is such a peaceful character, and even though he doesn't create his own light, he keeps trying to shine like the moon. Great. That's a great analysis right there. I like that. Even though I'm sad that their ship didn't sail in the end, I don't think White is ruling out the possibility that they could be more than friends. At the end, White jokes around and doesn't really acknowledge the boundaries Ivy set in their relationship. So I think they still have a chance to be friends, or maybe want even more. I like the fact that it kind of went in that direction. That's kind of life. Not every ship needs a sail, as they say. Had one when I went to Barcelona one summer when I was 16, one of the hardest goodbyes of my life. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people can relate to that. Summer is a time for, you're out of school, feel the freedom. You're going to social environments, maybe the beach, maybe the club, maybe, hangouts, popular hangouts, etc. Things like that happen. School starts again. You got to go in opposite directions. That's what makes it a fling. So I kind of like the fact that they went in that direction. Obviously, this was more geared around like friendship. They were in school together, so it's maybe a little less like that. But honestly, I don't mind it. I really don't. It can be disappointing if you're looking for like that kind of romance, like friends to lovers romance, and you're just expecting it because most stories have happy endings, right? And it's weird to some folks to have that not happen. But honestly, I don't mind it. Kind of gives a little bit of a memorable factor to it. You know, you will remember this because it didn't end how you wanted it to end. It's not a BL, yet it stars Duncan Nguyen. I'm very satisfied with the actors' performances. As the plot develops, Loon becomes more profound, and White feels like some kind of behind-the-scenes wizard. He delivers such deep thoughts and advice that sometimes I feel like the screenwriter is speaking through him. The only character I was disappointed with in this story is Star. In my opinion, she felt a bit underdeveloped and lacked charisma. Because the whole plot, at least formally, revolves around her, but I have the feeling that everything is spinning around an empty axis, if there's a void at the center. I think this person was looking for a BL and came to the wrong party, basically. They saw the names and they're just like, all right, well, I know what to expect. Out of 10. Star was fun and energetic. Well, there goes that last one. Made everyone around her feel at ease. White's probably my third favorite character man. Honestly, a green flag. Ivy's a green flag too. I'm at a loss for words. I relate to Loon so much. SummerNight makes high school drama juicy. To be fair, almost everything about high school is juicy. Like a lot of the shows and movies that cover high school is juicy because honestly, high school itself is kind of juicy. There's a lot of gossip. I mean, I'm sure you can remember moments of gossip getting around so fast, like a wildfire. They broke up. Literally, the entire school knows about it in like 2 seconds. Or they got together. The entire school knows about it in 2 seconds. Or, you know, somebody got arrested for drugs. The entire school knows about it in 2 seconds. Discover how this Thai drama captures the essence of adolescence, love, and self-discovery. Quickly captured the hearts of viewers. It's got everything that you would possibly want in this kind of story. It's summer. It's got high school. There's romance. There's drama. There's will they, won't they. There's awkwardness. It's literally everything you would want in one of these. Nguyen as Loon. Dunk as White, obviously. Arn as Star. Jun as Ivy. Your acclaim. Enthusiastic viewers have praised SummerNight for its authentic portrayal of teenage emotions and the beautiful slow burn romance that unfolds. Here's what some fans are saying. Quote, I've never felt so seen by a show before. Loon's journey really mirrors the highs and lows of being a teenager. Like watching my own high school experiences unfold on screen. And that's why we watch them. I am much older than I was in high school, but I still watch it because I'm like, it takes me back. It is extremely nostalgic. Now, my life wasn't this crazy or this wild, but it still reminds me a lot of, you know, the stuff that I heard about, and, you know, some of it's relatable, of course. Chemistry between Nguyen and Parn is undeniable. Each episode leaves me wanting more of their sweet, awkward interactions. Yeah, that is one word I would definitely describe high school. Awkward. Awkward. Everything was awkward. This drama is a perfect mix of nostalgia. There you go. There you go. I literally said that 2 seconds ago. And new experiences. It's both heartwarming and heart-wrenching to watch these characters navigate the complexity of young love and friendship. Why you should watch. Not just a typical teen drama, poignant look at the emotional journey of adolescence. Standout performances, relatable storylines, beautifully crafted scenes, tug at your heartstrings and remind you of the bittersweet nature of growing. Yep. You know what's funny is I used to watch these shows in high school for like living through some of this drama. Like some of this drama I had no experience in at all. And I was just like, oh, I can watch this and it can kind of give me that view of what that's like. And then as I got older, it just became nostalgic where I watch it now to feel young. I watch it now to think back to those days. What was it like? What was I like? What were the people that I hung out with like? You know, what was it like going to class? All these people that you knew for years. Some of them you knew by name. Some of them you knew by friendship. Some of them were complete strangers that you just happened to see every day, which is weird. It's kind of weird. It's like riding the bus or riding a train with somebody every single day and never knowing their name, but you know you'll see them every single day. What a weird concept. But very interesting. Summer Night Episode 1 review starts bright. All right, so there's a little disbelief, suspending disbelief here. The creators want us to believe that good-looking Fuin, who's already played primary leads in a bunch of other shows, is an invisible nobody in high school. So ordinary that even his classmates don't know of his existence. Come on, that's just taking it too far. The makeup team doesn't even make any effort to make him look like a regular kid. No acne, great skin. He looks just like he walked out to model. Maybe with a not so great hairstyle, but fine, let's just play along, even if it's not believable. Well, that is Hollywood. That's TV making. Usually they don't uggify. That's an interesting word. Uggify the stars to make them look more regular or relatable. Based on a webtoon. I didn't know that. Loon is befriended by the equally popular White and is inducted into the popular clique. He has a real shot with Star, but in a twist, White also likes Star. First episode is narrated from Loon's point of view, who introduces himself and his nobody status at school, which of course is comically exaggerated. He sits inches away from the popular kids, the handsome all-rounder White, the beautiful all-rounder Star, tomboy Ivy, and playboy Jewel. Each of them gets quick intro scenes before we see Loon's growing friendship with White and some potential sparks between Loon and Star. Yeah, it's a little unbelievable, but if you were the nobody in school, you obviously know that this is exaggerated a bit. Or if you knew the nobodies in school. I would consider myself a nobody at school. I mean, I had friends, a group of friends, but you know, we weren't part of the popular clique or whatever. I knew some of the people in the popular clique, but I was never a part of it. Know what I mean? Summer Night Episode 1 is a pleasing, bright, summer-themed palette. The cinematography is visually very engaging, especially that this is a high school romance. Junk's still a fairly new actor, but unlike his previous roles, looks more at ease in front of the camera. Episode 1 does a good job of setting the tone for the main themes. Friend group is pretty cute, even though the personalities are very stereotypical at this point. It does promise to be a breezy, fluffy show. Nothing wrong with that. I like a good breezy, fluffy show. Don't mind it at all, actually. Sometimes you're looking for that kind of thing. You know, maybe life's getting hard or rough, or, you know, you're going through exams, final exams, or work is just a nightmare. Kind of nice to have these fluffy shows to fall back on. Summer Night series getting unnecessary hate. What? 8 months ago. 2 days back, Summer Night episode 6 aired, and the hate the series and the two main leads are getting just seems uncalled for. People seemed fine with the first 2 episodes airing, and then the hate slowly began to grow towards Fuin. Really? Pond went out of his way to show his support and even asked fans to support the project. Wow. But now the hate is just too much, calling it a flop, making Fuin look like a villain. The worst is probably the hate Arn is receiving. I just don't get it. She's honestly the best choice for the role. Her delivery and portrayal of the character is wonderful, and her acting is on point. Everyone tagging her and blaming her for Fuin's and the series' downfall is unnecessary. And the part about no chemistry, what do you mean there's no chemistry? The two have impeccable chemistry. You can see it increase as each episode airs. The plot is good. The direction and screenplay is also well done. I just feel like people on social media can't bear to see this man romancing a woman and are showing hate towards them and are perfectly well taken series. Oh, fans of Pon Fuin or the couple are not having it. Well, some. We know what we're talking about, right? This is probably one of the best straight series GMMTV has made, and it's sad to see people hating on it because they can't stand to see their BL actors romancing women. Their delusional minds. Oh, dang. Their delusional minds be thinking he doesn't care for his BL series and just wants a doll to kiss. What? That sentence is weird. It's disgusting that I'm quoting comments from comments from Instagram, but that's what they're saying. Arn is beautiful, smart, and extremely talented, and from what I can see from the behind the scenes posts by the cast and crew, she is good at what she does. She's loved by them and also seems to have a good rapport with both Fuin and Dunk. Thoughts? Opening up to the public. There's also no space for hate or dislike here. Please don't spread such stuff. If you don't agree with my view, you're more than welcome to just skim across this and move on. Oh boy. Probably what we call the toxic side of the fandom. I was the popular kid who hung with the less popular kids every now and then because a lot of the other popular kids didn't like the stuff I liked, anime and things like that. Yeah, that is a good point. No, it's very much like Mean Girls, where the popular group has to be a certain way, and you cannot deviate from that at all, or they just look at you like you're weird. Maybe you're on the outs, or like, oh, I don't know about that person. So it's kind of weird how cliques work in high school. It's very exclusive. I don't know. I kind of did my own thing. I really didn't care. I just didn't care at all. Had friends that I enjoyed. We did fun stuff. Doing hood rat stuff with my friends. Like that classic video. I really didn't think about where my place was. I just didn't give two craps, if you will. Didn't care. And I was having so much fun. I could not imagine caring that much about how I looked and what I was doing and how other people thought about what I was doing. I just didn't care. I really didn't. I think that's because I moved into a new area where I just basically said, I don't know who these people are. I don't care to know who these people are. I'll find my group and I'll just hang with them. I think that probably played into that. I think if I would have stayed in the area where I was growing up, I would have cared for sure. Because I knew the people from such a young age, right? But yeah, hanging with the people that are into the stuff you're into. I mean, that's the secret sauce. That's the happiness right there. And then you get older and you look back and you go, dang, that popular group wasn't as cool as I thought they were. You know? I hate to say it, but a lot of them peaked in high school. You know what I mean? Just saying. Their delusional minds. That's a crazy sentence. Arn is beautiful, smart, and talented. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's start getting into the weeds here. 2 got a ton of hate during F4 because she was paired with Bright, and Bright Win fans went mental against her. Some fans are unfortunately just entitled evil jerks, I guess we'll say. You can read that word. I remember that. I remember fighting with all those fans. They're still being rude to Bright. That's crazy. It's so good. I'm enjoying it a lot. And the leads have crazy chemistry. People's eyes are rotten with jealousy and delusion for them to not be able to see such a fun series. I mean, let's not go too far. People are able to hate a series without being delusional and jealous. Let's not go that far. That's a bit extreme. BL fandoms are getting worse because we didn't have this issue a year ago when Pond and Fuin had straight roles. There are all these new BL fans who are extremely loud and entitled, and it's in every fandom now. It's like a virus spreading. Comment removed by moderator. Yikes. I think that's part of it. Many new fans probably expect them to do tons of fan service, but they're not like that, especially if you win. Personally, I'm really enjoying it. Love the various entertainment relationships. Okay. I will never understand those fans. Definitely right now, I only really talk to maybe 4 of the popular kids I used to hang out with. Yeah. I mean, I am jealous of people that are still friends with the people they were close to in high school. Like, because you've known each other forever at this point, or you will. That's kind of cool. I do miss that aspect, but I moved around way too much, as I've said before, to maintain any sort of friendship over that distance. It kind of gets a little difficult, especially as you get older. I mean, work, maybe, a spouse, family, who knows? Just kind of eats up your time, and it's impossible. Some maintain it, some are able to do it, but I don't know. It just seems like scheduling nightmare, basically. I love how these comments are all removed by the moderator. They think he's some homophobic actor who's just using his fame and BL to get into straight series. This kind of fan never makes sense, but the level of craziness of these fans when Pon Fuin finished We Are, like yesterday, is unbelievable. Not like the ship wasn't doing any series, they did it yesterday. It's the obsessive fans who started it. They'll never understand that they're actors and just an on-screen couple. How would they grow in their profession if they just accept auditions for roles that fit their ship? This is why South Korea makes different pairings per project and takes years for them to reunite. Most of the time, they don't. We want to avoid this nonsense from Delulu fans thinking everyone is a couple in real life. True, they cannot just wait for BL scripts to fall into their laps and go against any straight series. It's also about how the actor fits the character more than the ship sailing. Some of those fans should make an appointment with a therapist. This is a difficult period for actors, but it will end, and a good series will remain. A series that you are not ashamed of. Everyone who has eyes will see the main thing. Parn is a good actress. She has potential. She has many good roles ahead. Honestly, I like that GMMTV is open to anything and everything. That's kind of the name of the game, right? You got to do everything, right? Thankfully, I'm only 19. Well, you got some years ahead of you, for sure. That'll be interesting. If you can keep that going, that'll be pretty impressive, honestly. I will be impressed. Main thing is that their favorite ship holds hands and takes selfies every day looking at each other with loving eyes. Let me be real and messy. They're not even mad because it's splitting up their little pairing. They've made it ain't them. What? You don't have a chance, and if it helps, Parn probably doesn't have one. I don't even. What? She's trying to get her bag, not ruin somebody else's. That's good. That's a good one. Happens all the time. Previous cases were worse due to BL ship guys. Were much more popular. It's also happening with Prim again, even though her new series with Gemini hasn't even started filming yet. Obviously, I feel the worst for the counterpart. If you're in a pairing, I mean, you're going to be fine, but I feel horrendous for the other person that's taking that heat. That's crazy. So from what I saw in reviews and heard from sane people, it's not about Fuin or crazy fans, the flop I mean. If people like the series, crazy fans wouldn't matter. Right-wing fans were times 20 in numbers and nastiness back in the day. Secondly, why Parn? GMMTV has lots of actresses joined earlier, have more experience in the industry, maybe not in main lead, but support role too. Parn is kind of new in the company. Parn does lead act before joining GMM, but given the choices they have, people don't see Parn as the best choice. Parn as the best choice. As someone who works in the industry, I can assure you that casting isn't always about who came in before who or who has more experience, of course. Actually, I've heard nowadays that a lot of actors are being chosen based on their social media presence. Isn't that crazy? Like, not even their acting ability. It's how many people can you tell to go see this movie? Isn't that wild? Apparently, that's a thing. I heard Ben Affleck talk about it. I heard somebody else. I can't remember who was talking about that specifically, but it seems like it's a thing. Oh, it was Josh Brolin? Yeah, it was Josh Brolin, I think, talking about it. More about who fits the role correctly. Yes, they have good actors, but the casting department chose her because she fits the role. And she's a good actor, let's be honest. And also the availability of the schedules, well, of course. Maybe of all the shortlist artists, her schedule being available also plays a part. Of course. That happens all the time. People have other opportunities going on. One side hates that all things that involves LGBTQ, while the other side hates things that involve straight relationships. Yeah, that is not good. Not good. Both can be acceptable. And both can be enjoyable. I get it. Like, you want I think it involves more sanity and insanity than anything. Like, if you're accepting of what GMMTV creates, you should be accepting of them branching into other genres, other styles, everything. Like, you would want GMMTV to flourish, right? Not lose sight of its original content, of course, but you would want them to become more successful and more audience and bring in more people to get more exposure. You wouldn't want to like limit it. And I think a lot of these folks are just trying to keep it their thing instead of letting it flourish and bring in more people. It's kind of sad. I mean, I get it. The couples and the pairings and stuff like that, that's huge. It's huge, obviously. Brought in tons of viewers. I mean, certainly my channel has seen just a influx of people checking it out because of those pairings. But obviously you want the content to be good as well, and to flourish. You want the company to bring in more money, bring in more eyeballs, and make better BL content or whatever. BL content. Kind of crazy, kind of scary for somebody like me who wants to have acting as an option, maybe even a major one. Yeah, Absolutely. You want to have every opportunity available. Most people are hyping the series. I'm not saying the hate doesn't happen, but the series receives so much love too. Dunkwidget gains so many new fans through the series. Yeah, that's true. I think the issue was people thought it was BL and it wasn't. That might have been it. Yeah, if you see a couple in it, if you're not paying attention or you're not giving it time, you probably think, oh, it'll be this. And then when you don't get that, you're probably upset. Most of the promo for this show was around the accidental kiss scene. Oh, jeez. So people probably were like, oh, yeah, this is what this is. So for the first few episodes, people that were interested in that type of genre became disappointed that it wasn't. I haven't seen SN, though I heard good things about it. SummerNight. Also have the common sense to know that they would never switch out the CPs that way. No offense to anyone, but seriously, to have thought it was a BL even after the plotline teaser and trailer were released is just ignorance. Yeah. Well, I mean, people don't have a lot of time. The fact that, you're giving your time to me to watch this right now, I appreciate it. It's not lost on me. People are busy. Maybe they missed the teaser and the trailer and the plotline, which I accept. If you're ignorant because of, lack of time and lack of checking out anything other than the show, or maybe you're new to the GMMTV stuff, maybe you didn't watch all that, totally understand it. But if you did watch all that stuff and you're still upset just because you're into, a certain couple, like that's too much. I get that the kiss is in the first episode, which was highlighted and talked about a lot, but just how did people's brains cut out everything else after kiss? I find Star's character annoying. I mean, she is the center of the universe. Just the thought of that annoys me, and she's not even pretty. Whoa! Whoa! Shots fired. Hot take. Ducky coming out of nowhere with that one. Sorry, my opinion. I would be less annoyed if maybe they choose Bim Beam or Film for the... Jeez. I read the webtoon, and yes, she's supposed to be annoying, and yes, she's the center of the universe. Her character is designed as the extremely overdriven teenage girl who gets herself into every small and big activity to get her mother's approval. That is who she is. That's why she's everyone's favorite crush, too. Not because she's beautiful, but because she seems to shine through everything she does. Huh. That was a hot take. I don't have personal hate for Parn, only her character. I feel like she's better at a support role. Wow, that was interesting. Holy crap. That was an interesting way to end it. Good grief. Personally, I love both types of friend relationships, whether queer or straight, so it's crazy to spout unnecessary hate. Yeah. Yeah, you should, I'm a pretty good example. I watch everything, literally. I've literally seen it all on this channel. Gotta be open to different things, whether it's relatable or not. I've watched things that are not relatable, watched things that are relatable. I find enjoyment in all of it because something in it speaks to me. Whether it's just a good story, good acting, good writing, good soundtrack, something is likable about everything. Like even I liked, what was that movie called? Geely. With Ben Affleck and J-Lo. There were some redeeming qualities. I thought his accent was hilarious. Throughout that entire movie, I thought it was hilarious. Didn't mean the movie was good, but I did enjoy that one part of it. So there's something to enjoy about literally everything. I thought the Minecraft movie was horrendously bad. Horrendously bad. Plotline, just terrible. The fact that it was just literally all CGI was forgettable. But I don't know, something about that Chicken Lava song just spoke to me. And I know it spoke to a lot of people because it's crazy big, super viral. There were moments in there that were very good. That kind of kept my interest, although most of it was forgettable. Why did Jason Momoa look like that? I have no idea. None. It was just odd. But yeah, it's regrettable that people kind of take this stuff a little too far in series. I get making it, I get it's entertaining, obviously. That's the whole point, right? It's entertaining, it's interesting. Obviously, people get into couples outside the show and what they're doing, their vacations, the things they say to each other on social media. It's all very fascinating. It's interesting. It's kind of cool to keep up on, obviously. But letting that bleed into their work, and maybe they want to push themselves, maybe they haven't done something before and they're like, let me give this a shot, see if I can do it. Maybe it'll push my acting forward, maybe it'll get me more roles. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but to then attack somebody that's not the person that you should be upset with, if you're upset with anybody, crazy. Like if you're upset with Fuin being with Pern, wouldn't you go after Fuin for choosing that role? Why would you go after her? I don't know. These are the questions that sane people cannot answer. So thankfully, this hasn't hit American actors too hard yet, because I can name like 6 actors off the top of my head who'd receive a rush of hate. Anyway, Jenna Ortega, who plays a lot of queer lesbian characters. Interesting. Yeah. It really hasn't kind of made its way over here yet. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not exactly sure, honestly. It's a double-edged sword, because I think a lot of the fan meet and fan service, not like the ugly term of it, but like the actual like good part of it, doing the fan meets and all that stuff, doing the shows, doing the game shows, having like YouTube channels, live streams. I think all that stuff's fascinating. I do appreciate the actors that, like those old school actors that you never see. You have no idea what their life is like, and they just kind of come out, do a character, and you're just blown away by it. You're like, dang, that's really good. Like, I think that's really cool. That's kind of the old Hollywood type, where they didn't, maybe they'd hit a gossip rag every once in a while, like somebody would get a scoop, but most of the time they were just a figment. Like you never had any idea what they're doing, where they're going, who they're dating, whatever. But I like this new age stuff too. I like it. I like seeing them on live stream and talking to each other and having these back and forths, and the fans just losing their minds in the live stream or watching it or talking to each other about it, of course. Shout out to the Discord. I think that's fascinating. I think it's really cool. I don't know which way is better, though. I think with movies, like mainstream movies, although GMMTV is slowly becoming more mainstream, I would say with traditional Hollywood movies, I like the actors being anonymous. Well, not anonymous, but well known, but you don't know much about their personal life. Kind of. But let's say, dang, I'm really torn on this. I am really torn. I like the access that K-dramas and, high dramas and stuff give. I think it's pretty cool and fascinating and new. But I also like the old kind where you're just like, I don't know what that person's like, but whenever they get into a movie, I know I'm going to see it because it's going to be good. And I won't look at them. This is something that Ben Affleck said recently. I won't look at them and immediately think of what they had for dinner 2 weeks ago. I'll just look at them as the character. You know, it's kind of a funny way to put it. Breaking that disbelief, that wall of like, that's a character. That character is that person. And then, somebody comes on screen and you're like, oh, that person dated such and such. They had spaghetti yesterday. Carrie Ann Moss comes off the top of my head for that subject. Always a treat to see Trinity on my screen. Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, there's certain people out there. Like Joaquin Phoenix comes to mind. Like he'll just come out of nowhere and just be in a role. Obviously Joker was huge. I don't know what I saw him in before that. Was it Her in like 2013? What else? Oh, there's other actors. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio, we know who he dates. We certainly know that. I don't know what he had for dinner 2 weeks ago. Unless he went out to eat. Then there's paparazzi photos. But that's another actor that just kind of comes out of nowhere and you're just like, well, I guess I'll see it. Because I know it's going to be probably pretty decent. But, you know, I do like the access. I think that's kind of cool in its own way. Dang, I'm really torn on this. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon with this. I'm like, I love this, but I also love that. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know down below in the comments. You know, what do you prefer? You prefer that old Hollywood style of certain actors just disappearing. You don't want to see them. You don't want to know what they ate, who they're dating, whatever. You just want to see them in a movie and you'll go see the movie. Or do you prefer the live streams, the fan meets, all that stuff? Kind of the new age way of acting, I guess. I don't know. I'm interested to read your opinions on that. But I appreciate you being here. Certainly. I hope you enjoyed those videos, those member-requested videos. They were awesome, per usual. If you'd like to request your own, toddreacts.com. Season and series tiers are the ones you're looking for. Follow the Discord, join the discussion, be in with us. You know, we don't bite. We're super nice. If you've enjoyed the comment section at Todd Reacts, you will enjoy the Discord. There's over, I think it's like 224 members at this point. You can be 225. Or maybe we're already there. I'm not sure. You could bring us to 300. How about that? Totally free to join. Links everywhere. You'll find it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube. That way it just tells the algorithm, hey, I like this stuff. Show me it. Follow the Twitch channel if you haven't already. If you're watching live or want to watch live later, certainly follow it. It'll give you a nice little notification if you have Twitch notifications on, or you can get the notification in the Discord. It provides a link, whichever one you want. And check out the merch. Winter collection is leaving soon. Leaving soon. We will have the summer collection, and I think you're going to enjoy it. We're going to do some fun things around it, too. Not going to tell you yet, but I will tell you soon. Very soon. So keep on the lookout for that. I think you'll enjoy it. And you're a fan of the newer way of things? Yeah. I think that's going to be the majority of you. I definitely think it is. Maybe I'll throw a poll in the Discord. Actually, I will. I'll throw a poll in the Discord and kind of get consensus. So if you want to chip in on that poll, join the Discord. And yeah, I hope you have a tremendously fun and awesome weekend. I will see you back here on Monday as we go over some more amazing videos, member requested, of course. Shout out to the mods, Jace, Rocco Kitty, and Luke for putting together the links every week. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, as always. And yeah, have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. All that good stuff. I'll see you back here on Monday. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.